what a finish. What a man.
The drum roll finishes, and the target is hit.
And means it. We've got a brilliant tail of the week. And it comes on finals night, and it's another
Players, Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
First ever wins here at the Modus Super Series. What a performance from Graham Usher.
This one pretty straight and simple. Coleman looking at double eight to avoid a whitewash, and he avoids that once again.
It's been a good start. Second guessed him a couple of times tonight. I mean, it's aggressive and it works out well, because I tell you what, when he does.
Of one for Paul Hogan. Where's he going now then? Right back. He's been deviating from this double all night, but when he needed it, it was there. By Danny Yansen. What a finish that is. What a response to square it up. Only 3 can go through from Group B. It's night 2 of Week 8 in Series 11, the final night for qualifying for finals night, as we are live from the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Hi there, good evening. Welcome along to Friday night here at the Modus Super Series, live on Pluto TV, where we've got a real battle to force their way through to the last places for finals night. This afternoon, 2 more players made it, Carl Wilkinson and Jamie Kelly. Now, Glenn Durrant was watching the action. Glenn, we'll start there before previewing this evening. Jamie Kelly ended up on top.
Yeah, we interviewed him afterwards as well. He speaks as well as he plays. Again, somebody who knows that stage, knows how to qualify. It was 2 from 3 all day, and unfortunately it was Richie Howson that missed out. But Kellen, yeah, he I think he's really confident he can do some damage tomorrow night, and he had the killer instinct on the treble, and as you can see there, the doubles were flying in as well. He's a very likeable player.
And in hindsight, this was probably the game that made the difference, wasn't it?
Yeah, Richie Howson's head-to-head against Wilkinson and Kellen was his downfall in the end. At times he played great, but just fell at the final hurdle.
Yeah, it is Jamie Kelly who went through along with Carl Wilkinson, runner-up in that group. Tom Sykes made it through Group A earlier in the week, and in Group B, Coleman, Hogan, Yansen, Usher and Heaver, well, they all did battle last night, and after the opening night's play, here is how the table looks. Paul Hogan top of it, Jason Heaver level on points with him, just 2 points though separating the top 4, with Usher and Yansen giving chase. Carl Coleman probably out of it, but who knows, if he were to have the opposite night and win all of his matches, then there could still be a chance. And we'll start at the top, Glenn. Paul Hogan always seems to have the knack, doesn't he, of finding a way through, particularly in a Group B.
Yeah, similar to Kellen as well. He looked really good, even when he was losing legs. He was fist pumping. He looked really happy about his game. A great win over Graham Usher as well. Superb finish. Usher was sat after losing the first leg, and that bullseye was a brilliant finish. I thought he was superb last night.
Yeah, you mentioned there Graham Usher losing that game significantly. He also lost a significant match to Jason Heaver, who his finishing was on point, wasn't it?
It was a strange game, 4-3, a game where Usher dominated the scoring power, but I mean, there was some questionable decision-making by Jason Heaver, but when he saw this target area of a double, he was the best player of the night on them doubles. It's whether or not he can transfer them onto tonight as well.
Yeah, made the semi-finals last time he was here, Jason Heaver, and he's in a very good position to qualify this time. And the bookies have now actually installed the Newbury man as favourite to win this group. Interestingly there, Paul Hogan, also on 6 points, actually third favourite, with Graham Usher separating the two. Danny Yansen 4-1, Carl Coleman 100-1. Any surprises in the order there?
Yeah, Paul Hogan might be looking at that right now and thinking third favourite. I'm sat top of the table, and you know, you felt there was more gears there. I guess Hogan's got to be the value, but a blanket over the 4 of them there. It's going to be tough to get 3 from 4.
Yeah, difficult to pick. And if you are going to have a bet tonight, please gamble responsibly. It's 18+, gambleaware.org. Opening match is about to get underway, then it's Jason Heaver against Danny Jansen, the Dutchman, who hit a 9-darter earlier in the week, but he's going to need to pick it up to force his way through to finals night at the end of tonight. And before play gets started, let's hear from him. Danny, it's been a long week, the last chance now to get through to finals night. First of all, just give us your feelings on the week as a whole.
I think I played pretty decent. I had a lot of good things. Of course, the 9-darter. I think my doubles has been pretty good. Took my chances. Triples has been a little bit off and on, but I watched the games back, and if you hit a 60, but they all on the wire. So if it falls in tonight, I give myself a good chance. But if it don't, it don't. Like I'm just going to give it everything I have in me tonight to get through. And otherwise, I think I can look back on a good week, played some good stuff. So what happens, I'll already be happy, but I will give everything I got to get through.
After a strong start last night, how disappointed were you when you left the place, having lost your last couple of games?
Against Graham, there was not much for me to do because Graham was just on fire. And I did my best, of course, but yeah, he was on a roll, so I was okay with that one. And against Jason, it was a long night, so I got a little tired. I think we both did, and we make it up to 2-2. And then I think my one bad start got me, so I hope tonight I will be on point and try to get it back.
It looks like it's going to be really closely fought between, well, 4 of you realistically in this group. What is your plan this evening? What do you think you need to do?
I think I need to try to win 3, and otherwise I need to win 2 for sure. And just try to make the win so big as I can and make the losers so close as we can. Of course, I want to win them all. But it has been a tough group. It's been a great darts and it's high standards. So I just need to be myself, try to do my best. But what you said, it's been a long week. So I'm just going to get in there, relax, stay calm, and try to get all my chances I can.
Well, thanks for talking to us. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is how things stand after the opening evenings. Danny Jansen was talking about there, Glenn, before this first game. He thinks he needs to win 3 matches that'll get him through, if not win 2 and hope.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Interesting talking about the fact that playing on a night is when the players want to play, but the fact that you're getting to 12 o'clock, 12:30, and you know, he used the word he's getting tired at that point. So that was an interesting aspect of that, but like I say, it's in his own hands. A big first game. We could be saying that all night, actually, Chris. They all seem to have a real meaning about it.
Yeah, looking forward to every single fixture, which we flew through last night, by the way. 10 matches, all of them done in double quick time. Danny Jansen, the mullet, 23 years of age. He's made it through to the weekly finals twice before. Can he make it the hat trick? Jason Heaver was a semi-finalist in the last series. The Newbury man who's hit the bullseye in years, looking to, well, really put a foot in finals night, you'd think, if he were to win this first match tonight.
Yeah, a lot of importance in this first one. He played... There's Owen Binks, our referee. One of the best in the business. One of the best in the business. Like the doubles was Jason Heaver. That's the one question I've got in relation to him. Surprised to see him favourite to top the group. He has the opportunity to prove me wrong. But Danny Jansen looks fresh, understands what he needs to do. And this could be a really interesting battle.
Yeah, very stone-faced when he's playing darts, Jason Heaver. He doesn't give too much away. You wouldn't know if he was winning, losing, or anything in between.
140.
Yeah, it's a good trait to have, and just chat with him later. I think he was quite funny chatting with Owen, and something we're doing just off air as well. So I'm sure there's a real personality on there, but when he gets on there, he's quite stoic.
140.
Starting here on the 19s, quite sensibly on 306. And using, or trying to use the bullseye that would have left him a finish.
Yeah, a lot of these young players now, it's really difficult to keep up with them on the finish, and I think it's more traditional for Jason Heaver. Bordering on some strange decisions last night, but what I would say, Chris, is when he needed a double, he shone.
39.
Won this fixture last night, of course.
161.
And looking for a 161 break straight away, but that's a wayward dart that puts paid to that checkout.
85. Danny require 146.
I think this is going to be a really tight game. It could be a little bit of magic that separates them. You could see the mark in the treble 19. So already this is an important finish for Jason Heaver. It would be a breaker throw.
Yeah, Good chance. Making his mind up. Ops for tops.
56.
And they were going last night,
And
weren't
he
they?
require 32.
This is what he used exactly the same line. I don't think he'd be panicking just yet. It was a well-thrown
Game's on the
dart. But Danny
first leg.
Yansen looks like
Danny
he means
Yansen.
business tonight. I like that interview that you had with him. I like players who know exactly what they want to do,
Second
what they
leg is
need to
Jason
do.
throw first.
He says he
Game
wants to
on.
win 3 games, and if he can get over the line with Jason Heaver, maybe he was the value at 4-1.
I know the Yansen clan are here in Portsmouth, desperate to be
140.
cheering their man on tomorrow night, including Dad Marco, proud father.
131.
Yes, he sort of burst onto the PDC scene, didn't he? Had that fantastic win at the Players' Championship. I was surprised to then see him lose his card, but we
125.
talked last night about that honeymoon period when you first go over there, but if you do start losing games, it's very, very difficult to sort of bounce
41.
back from there. And in darts, sometimes you need to take a step back to take 2 forward, and I think that's the way Danny's looking at things. A young lad, and sure a very bright future ahead.
140.
Certainly doing himself no harm with his performances here. But Heaver
58.
looking
Jason
likely to
Require,
level.
96.
96 after 9, a great leg of darts from him.
Potentially 11 darter.
78.
No dramas. Should see Danny start on the 19s on 271. He's very good at his board management.
89. Jason, you require 18.
I did say he was quite traditional, Jason, but he does have the option there of splitting, but no thought process in that. That was always the worry. But again, he'd be relieved when he looks over to the scoreboard to see Danny not on a finish.
81. Jason, you require 18.
Persevering. And that looks like it could be helpful.
Game's on the second.
Found the
leg.
double.
Jason
Squared up the match, despite the drama and the delay in getting there.
Yes, I
So
thought
like
the
it's
narrative
Danny
was
to
going to
throw
be that he's
first.
having real
Game.
problems on the outer ring after his wonderful doubling last night.
Played one meeting away from the
58.
Super Series, this pair. It was a European Tour qualifier back in 2022. Great game of darts. Both of them averaged 96, and it went the full 11 legs. Danny Yansen winning it in the end.
100.
Haven't had your thoughts, Glenn, on the
55.
World Match Play, the lineup, the draw. Michael Smith and Dimitri Vandenberg, notable absentees from that tournament.
Yes, I've done a couple of podcasts this week. And surprised to see
96.
Michael not there, but that's the state of play from. There's 2 ways he can deal with that now. He can get on that practice board because a lot of his success with darts, similar to what Danny's just done there, was down to some real hard work on the practice board. He was practiced very heavily with Ian White to get him right to the top, so I'm sure he'll be evaluating what's around. It's suffered a couple of injuries as well. Fingers crossed
97.
Michael Smith will be back, but some wonderful draws, I have to say. Michael van Gerwen against Raymond van Varnebel. That sounds like the game on the
80.
Monday night to really whet the appetite, but I do like the look of a couple of other games, and Luke Humphreys versus Jan van Veen stands out.
Yeah, certainly does. And there'll be a lot of Dutch interest in that tournament for
41. Danny
the games that Glenn's just mentioned alone, but there'll be a lot of Dutch interest on the Super Series tonight, watching this man, cheering on this man.
103.
Almost cheering on a
Jason
big checkout. He
167.
couldn't find the ball. How Heaver would love to get a go at it himself.
Oh, this would hurt. That's unlucky. He's just
89.
drifted into the treble 3. I'm sure
Danny
he let go of that
required
dart. He
25.
fancied that. So big moments here for Danny. He's looked solid tonight.
Game's on the
And
third.
that trend
leg.
continues. He
Danny
leads
Yansen.
2 legs to 1.
Fourth leg, it's Jason to throw first. Game on.
Switching away because he's blocked the treble by putting the dart beneath it.
96.
Yeah, I've sort of been looking at Danny's game. At times he's just magic to watch. Perfect timing. Perfect timing with the 180 there. and at times I'm wondering why there's that lack of consistency in his game. So I've been doing a little bit of analysis away from the hockey,
97.
and hopefully something I can get across during this match. But he's already had the 9 data this week, remember? I have a feeling as well, Chris, if someone else is going to do it this week, it's going to be him again.
Well, he fancies it. I've spoken to him a couple of times where he said that it really is something he wants to do. Got the 9 data on his first day of the week on Monday
60.
and has threatened something like that ever since.
So
60.
So it was a wonderful start with a 180, but Heaver on throw, demonstrating maybe the reasons why the bookies had him as favourite tonight.
180.
A huge scorer. Great pace, great rhythm to this game.
140. Jason, you require 68.
This could be a big
Danny,
moment here for Danny
request
Yansen,
77.
not just in this match, but in the context of this group. We'll have the Devils tie at the top of the table if he does win the game. 6-6-6 in terms of points for the top 3. But he clips
57.
the bottom wire
Jason,
and
you
gives Heaver a
require
chance
40.
to level it.
Yeah, those darts, simple darts, could be the difference between qualification, because you don't expect Heaver to miss. Just moves over for this double 10.
Game shot
Right
on full
smack
leg.
bang in the middle.
Jason
Missed
Heaver.
opportunity for Yansen.
Fifth leg, it's Danny to throw first.
In that interview, he
Game
said
on.
he has to win 2 or 3. 2 or 3 out of 4 is one thing, but lose your first match and it becomes 2 or 3 out of 3. That looks very
45.
difficult, doesn't it?
Especially got the likes of Usher and Hogan to go. This is a huge game. But from 180 start the first one to 45 in the next, what are the reasons why he's so inconsistent?
85.
Here's the side-on view of Danny, and look at the movement. There's an awful lot. You can just have a look at that nose, as I mentioned, and that last one was
56.
almost virtually walk on that one. And I think, and that's why when the timing is right, and he gets everything correct, and that might be just a little bit of a very similar with Heaver there.
140.
But as you can see, there's a kick of the back leg. There's the movement.
140.
But when the timing's good, the scoring is big.
$41.
Nothing really to separate the pair of them. Still going on throw. He'll want more after that first dart. Needs to move.
78.
Just took that second, didn't he? Then went back to the 18s where he should be going. Chance for Heaver.
$93.
Again, not the route I would go, but Jason's up there and I've got the mic in the hand, would be his argument.
95. Jason, you require 142.
For a breaker throw. 1, 2, 2 left, so he should go to the 18s.
43. Danny requires
That's probably the worst dart he could have thrown, because to leave 99 in that situation. Double 18.
63. Danny requires 36. Jason, you require 99.
99 required. Well,
59.
that's interesting.
And he requires
I might share why in a
36.
moment. 36 for Danny Yansen.
I wonder if that was on his mind, because I know what you're going to say. But this for a 3-2
Hey,
lead and
fifth
back and
leg.
throw. Really
Johnny
good game,
Yansen.
this.
Yeah, so before tonight's play, we were doing some filming with a different kind of
Six leg, it's
dartboard.
Jason to
I
throw
won't go into the
first.
full
Game
details
on.
and spoil, but he had exactly that shot, didn't he? 99, where he needed single 19, tops, and he did exactly the same thing. Hit the first double top, went over the top with a second. Not, an hour ago?
100.
It was a real slow burner of a start last night, this Group B campaign. This has been far from it. Exciting.
97.
So many one-sided games yesterday. It was unbelievable, but a really tight start. We could be going the distance. We should be going the distance.
140.
Even 140 points ahead.
140.
Perfect first start. You'll be annoyed not to have followed it there.
80. 58.
Just seeing Danny Yansen in the background, just mopping his brow.
85.
What he'd give for a 174 in this situation. He won't get it with that first start, that's for sure.
85. Jesse Record 96.
He's been here before. We're seeing so many players go the double 19 at that stage, but 64 points left.
And he record 121.
And there goes those strange decisions by Jason Heaver. Treble 17 needed.
57. Jason, you require 46. 14. Danny requires 64.
What an opportunity. As we said, numerous times in this game, those darts were going in last night for Jason Heaver. But it's an opportunity. It's a match dart for Danny Yansen, double 16.
32. Jason, you require 32.
Same double to force the game to go on. Oh, right on the wire. He might have thought that was in as it left his hand. Tries to make the tiniest adjustment. Somehow got closer without going in.
16.
And it was always going to be difficult after
32.
that.
I also think the shape of the darts made it difficult there. Big opportunity for Danny. Just takes his time. For the perfect start to the night.
16.
It's not to be. A missed opportunity
Jason
again.
requires 16.
Will he rue that later on tonight?
Game shot on the
Some
sixth
early
there.
nerves in this game.
Jason Heaver.
Might be a little bit of a shake of the head there for Jason Heaver, but there's an awful lot
Seventh
of relief.
and final leg, it's Danny to throw first.
Danny Yansen
Game.
has to compose. That's what Jason thinks of it behind.
100.
I think the hottest I've seen it on the stage this afternoon was 28 and a half, and you can see Danny mopping his brow in the background. Jason Heaver shaking his shirt.
60. 60.
Another chance for Danny. I'm just wondering though,
82.
Chris, how many chances does he want in this game? He's got in total control here. 140 needed for Heaver.
100.
Yeah, and maybe just that's the difference between being the chaser and the chased. Which player has the pressure on the
99.
shoulders in this situation? Heaver's maybe got a bit more freedom, a little bit more margin for error.
$93. Danny require
Again,
160.
Not so sure of the decision process there. The 140 was the shot for me. But Danny, that lateral drift into the 5 again.
55.
I'm getting nervous for Danny here because he's total control of this game. But one big score here from Heaver and he becomes favourite. Needs a treble.
60. Danny require 105.
Here we go.
73.
Clips the
Jason
wire.
128.
Oh, this would really hurt.
18 should be the shot, so he can still be done. Treble 20. That would have left the bullseye. We've talked about how many chances does
88.
Danny want. He's
Danny
at the
required
side of the board he
32.
loves. Surely this time.
But it may be the last chance.
Good
And Danny
shot
Yansen
out of
gets the win he
match.
needed to kick
Danny
off
Yansen.
this evening's action. and it's a victory that makes things very, very interesting in this group. It sees Yansen move on to 6 points alongside the man he's just beaten, Jason Heaver, and Paul Hogan, who will be in action very, very shortly. A 4-3 win for Yansen. What a start. It's going to be close tonight. Stay tuned.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receiving the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Luke Littler!
Welcome back then to the Modus Super Series, where we're going to see Carl Coleman take on Graham Usher in a match that is now the battle of the bottom two, as Usher has been pushed into 4th place by Danny Yansen with that victory over Jason Heaver. The top 3 have 6 points. Heaver and Hogan, who both have 6, are going to be in action next. That should start to give us an indication about maybe one of the players that will be progressing, but Graham Usher could give us all a real headache here, couldn't he? Because there could be 4 players on 6 points at the end of this match. Carl Coleman will be hoping that that's not the case, and he can get his first win here. And to be honest, of all the opponents that he played last night, he looked the most comfortable against this one.
Yeah, it was a totally different tact as well. He almost like he played it like an exhibition. He went for a couple of blind 180s, and I was actually a little bit upset when I went back, because he messaged me and said, I hope you weren't too upset about me going for the blind 180s. Well, if he ever watches this one back, he could never upset me, because it makes me so proud to see the likes of Jamie Durrant and Carl Coleman on their hockey and how far they've come in a short space of time. He has to do what's right for him, not worry about people like me and what he should or shouldn't do. But I think he played 3 games, and I'm not looking for excuses for him, but what could have gone wrong yesterday did go wrong. He had problems with his accommodation, was hanging around sort of Portsmouth all day, couldn't get a room. He felt tired when he got on the hockey, and quite simply today, I've only spoke to him once and he just said no excuses tonight. He's refreshed and ready. One aspect for me is I wish he wasn't playing Usher first game. Good friends, you could see that in that game last night, but it's got to start somewhere.
And it will start soon. Graham Usher just lobbing his last couple of practice starts with little care. We have seen him throw practice starts with both hands in the past, Graham Usher.
Yeah, at times he looked terrific last night. One real milestone was a 4-0 victory over Danny Yansen in 6 minutes and 1 second. That's the kind. He's deceptively quick, is Graham Usher. I guess this sort of slight delay is not helping either player. But it was just the start that Danny Yansen wanted, because you feel it's going to be 3 from 4, Chris, and maybe Danny Yansen was one of those players. If Jason Heaver had won that game, it was going to be tough from Danny from there. But yeah, for the neutral, this could be a really exciting one now, because a win for Graham Usher here, as Chris alluded to, 4 players on 6 points. It's going to be an exciting conclusion to the night. Paul Hogan up next.
First leg, it's Cole to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, big embrace between the pair of them. Obviously know each other well. As Glenn knows better than anybody, if you weren't watching last night. Carl Coleman.
45.
The extended family, really, to Glenn, who's a really good friend with Carl's dad, Dennis, who used to be at your side for all your successes, Glenn.
I always said if I could cut my trophies in half, I would have given it to Dennis.
139.
I know there'll be family from Team Usher watching as well. He's got
81.
a dart playing son, Joe, that is always his biggest supporter.
Carl's mum's at my home right now with the wife as well,
60.
so there'll be early nerves for Ange as well. But the boy's doing okay.
Was doing okay.
180.
If Mrs. Durrant's watching, I'm going to have to cross out a few of my pre-rehearsed lines for this evening, Glenn.
26. Graham, you require 140. 80 scored. 100.
But even people that are watching, supporting Carl Coleman, just won't be able to help but marvel when Graham Usher plays darts like this. He's so good to watch when he's on song.
64.
Yeah, great from Scarborough.
Game show on the first day.
Darter.
Graham Usher.
Absolutely perfect. And Scarborough's becoming a little bit of a hotbed. I've been watching a play called Oliver Mitchell as
Second
well.
leg, it's Graham to throw
Looked at a
first.
vault that he
Game
did
on.
where he was just pinging 100 averages for fun there. So there's another name to look out for. Good friends with Graham Usher, and I think in a
140.
recent Modus qualifier to get back here. I think Graham beat him in the final, but yeah, remember that name. I hope I've got it right. It's definitely Oliver.
60.
Yeah, no, I've heard that name before.
100.
There was one here last week as well by the name of Durrant that did a sterling job.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a big head. He was at an academy as well on Thursday.
121.
I used to get asked to go to them.
135.
I was getting a little bit nervous. It was around about this time yesterday. I said, never mind value in the Group B. Graham Usher will win. After losing those first 2 matches, he looked a little dejected as he walked off. But he is on a 2-match winning streak. and goes into the match with Coleman as a red-hot favourite.
Well, he still may win, might he? If he wins this, they're all on 6 points. He's got as good a chance as anybody. Yes, in the following game, somebody will move on to 8. But there is still a dangerous prospect here of not only someone missing out on 8 points, there's a chance someone could miss out on 10. Tops for Usher. Double 10.
60.
Not found. But yeah, if Carl Coleman doesn't get a win, the 40 points available in this group could be split equally between 4 players. That is a possibility.
130.
I think what Carl's objective is to play that spoiler role. It's going to be a tough ask to beat Graham Usher right now because he's leading 2-0.
Yeah, 15 and 17. You feel he's in about third gear. Couple more to move through.
Yeah, he's so explosive as well, Chris, that I think he's made for a Saturday night as well. He just loves being here in Portsmouth. He just loves the Modus format. Of course, he had so much success at Southampton as well under the old format.
180.
Just pings 180s for fun, doesn't he? When you stood behind him.
Yeah, and he was the runner-up here in Series 1 before embarking on a 2-year PDC Tour card journey. I was surprised he didn't really kick on as more than he did, because when he left playing here to pursue that professional career, he was absolutely flying.
Yeah, similar to a guy called Rob Grundy from Hartlepool, but it's a big step up. You know, it's wonderful that the fantastic opportunities in the amateur game with the Modus Super Series being a real highlight. The real top of the tree. We've got events like the Global Championships coming as well. You've got so much ADC stuff, but when you do make that step up to the PDC, it's not easy. 164 for Carl. He'll stay there. He'll back up to treble 20 now with 100 points left.
84. Graham, you're 121.
Treble 17 would leave the bullseye. It's not going to go. So Coleman will
57.
have an opportunity here to get a foothold in this match. Couldn't stay straight.
64.
Seen that a couple of times. A lot of the players where the brain's making its own decision. Could be 3-0 down, tops.
Game show on the third leg. Graham Usher.
Yeah, Coleman knew that was a gilt-edged opportunity. Didn't give himself the dart at double he should have had. And you can't afford those mistakes against a man of the ilk of Usher.
134.
Didn't even have time to get his water and get back to Heaver scored a 134. Just to start that Usher one. And you feel, as you rightly said, that he's only in third gear. He's averaging over 98 55. At the moment. If he can get through tonight, the gambler, he will be seriously in the mix.
2
56.
Yorkshiremen already there tomorrow.
And just to add to that, if he finishes second in this group, all 3 Yorkshire players would be in that Group 1 tomorrow.
Wow. Tom Sykes, Carl Wilkinson,
64.
Graham Usher, if he makes it. And every chance he could finish second.
133.
And I tell you what, Paul Hogan, Jason Heaver and Jamie Kelling don't live that far apart either. So you could have 2 very geographical groups.
Already a good crowd coming in tomorrow, but there's tickets available. Come and sample the experience. And Chris, if I'm harping on about it, I apologise, but the atmosphere last Saturday was incredible.
No, it certainly was, 41. And we have still got tickets available for tomorrow, so come and be part of that atmosphere. Graham Usher may well be there if he carries on playing like
75.
this. But he hasn't got the job done yet, and there is no guarantee that he'll take out 5 when he returns. So Coleman would be well advised to put in a big one.
$42. Graham, you're requiring 5.
It's been one-way traffic. The man from Scarborough. 2-2 for the perfect start. He means business, does Graham Usher. He is now on a 3-match winning streak. Good friends away from the hockey as well. Glimpses of what Carl Coleman can do. He'll have other opportunities, but Graham Usher, excellent throughout. The perfect start. A big 4-0 victory, which moves him into that qualified position as well. He was round about mid-90s throughout there for Coleman. He'll be back. He'll get other opportunities. Next up, it's Heaver versus Paul Hogan.
54. Charlie Maguire, 164. 44. 32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls of this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
hockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
required
he's gone to
118.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia required
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go!
Couldn't get the job
Yes!
done.
Got in the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife!
Welcome back to the live lounge in Portsmouth, UK, the home of the Modus Super Series, brought to you live and free on Pluto TV. And what a group we've got already in Group B. 4 players can't be separated. 6 points apiece for Messrs Usher, Yansen, Heaver and Hogan. 2 of them on the stage now. 1 of them will get to 8 here. Heaver has played a game more than Paul Hogan. He's the last to play his 5th fixture of this group. The 61-year-old from Basingstoke, just down the road from Jason Heaver, who is from Newbury. And that's kind of just up the road from here in Portsmouth. Opportunities for their friends, fans and family to be here tomorrow night. You could be here as well. Tickets available from
First round is
dartshop.tv.
Jason to throw first.
Glenn
Game
Durrant
on.
will be here. Both of these players could be here, but whoever wins this match will have a slight advantage in that race.
Yes, it's certainly a long drive to Portsmouth, but when I do see the Basingstoke and I do see Newbury, I know I'm very close to Portsmouth.
140.
And usually that means we get a good crowd in here as well, if a Jason Heaver, if a Paul Hogan qualify.
And we mentioned before the break Jamie Kelling from Andover as well on the same stretch of road. And they could all end up in the same group tomorrow night. Fascinating. About 20 miles between the 3 of them.
Derby night.
100.
But the question is, Glenn, do you prefer driving down that road, coming to Portsmouth or going back to
60.
Middlesbrough?
Oh, coming, of course.
I thought you said Mrs. Durrant was watching tonight.
Pinocchio Durrant.
140.
I was incredibly impressed with Paul Hogan last night. Even when he wasn't throwing the dart, I was enjoying
60.
the smiles, the
Jason,
fist
you've got
bumps, the
121.
engagement with the players. But he started very, very slowly in this one, and that's not what Jason Heaver's done. He started beautifully until
80.
I was about to say until I ruined it there, but it's just the start that Heaver wanted. 41 after 12.
100.
Super darts, Hoagie.
Yeah, he'd left 41 there.
Gage on the first leg. Jason.
Through choice, went for a treble 19, but he only needed the one dart double.
Second
That's the
Paul to throw first.
Heaver of
Game
last evening, isn't it?
Yes, the Super Darts Hoagie, and homage to Angela if you're watching.
85.
What was Paul Hogan's pairs partner's name when I first heard Super Darts Hoagie? They won absolutely everything. Paul somebody?
140.
I'll be checking my Facebook messages now.
41.
Hopefully someone can help me, but yeah, he was brilliant at pairs. They won absolutely everything. Been around a long time as Paul, but looks as good as ever.
100.
Yeah, donned in the one of his popular shirts tonight, the Crocodile Dundee theme.
100.
West Brom fan, isn't he? Boing boing.
He is, absolutely, yeah. Originally hails from that
140.
part of the country.
This is excellent, by the way, as much as we're waxing lyrical about Paul Hogan. Jason Heaver scoring big.
130. Jason, you've got 120.
Yeah, well, it's two legs in a row, isn't it, where he's left himself 121. The first leg after a dozen darts, this time after 9 darts.
Just double checking with the ref. It's 86 points left. Treble 18
53.
should be the shot.
145.
He got there in the end. Waiting for the magic from Hogan. Not going to happen. I think he fancied that. Looking at his reaction. May go down for the bull, but they're two good markers for treble 20.
100. Jason, you're requires 68.
He dominated this leg.
And a chance to double his lead. Double 4.
64.
Oh, it's teasing that double, isn't it? But not quite in.
I'll use one of your lines from earlier. They were going in last night. As were there, Paul Hogan, without being his brilliant best 1-1. He'll be the happier of the two.
Third leg against Jason.
Hogan hangs around, levels up.
$48. $60.
Opportunity there for Hogan because the scoring power Heaver in those first two. All of a sudden, little come on, he says. Bit of a brick wall in this leg. He won't be happy with that.
$43. $60.
That'd be a perfect start to the night for Hogan if he were to win this
41.
game. In more ways than one, because he'd be on 8 points, which is a great position for him, but it would mean that Jason Heaver would have lost both of his opening matches, and it would put real pressure on one of his rivals, wouldn't it?
68.
He would have to come back and get the better of probably both Graham Usher and Carl Coleman.
Well, it took 21 darts between the pair of them before we saw the first treble 20.
100.
They just seem to be following each other in this leg.
$140.
You're surprised at the odds for Paul Hogan. Well, he doesn't look like a red-hot favourite right now.
96. $100. Jason, you've recorded 78.
78 then. Treble 18. Oh dear, that's a big bad miss because he needs a treble with his second dart now.
That treble was 19. All he can do now is lay it up.
38.
And similar to that
you've
second leg,
recorded
Hogan's
116.
second best, but he took it. This is a type of finish he usually relishes. He needs a treble 20 though. And that would have left his beloved double 18.
100. Jason,
Scrappy
you've recorded
leg.
40.
Felt the second dart just landed a
Hogan
bit
recorded
awkwardly.
60.
It kind of dropped and maybe blocked a bit of the target
James
there.
on the
Put
third
Heaver
leg. Paul Hogan.
off a little bit, and Hogan helps himself to a lead and with a break to boot.
Fourth leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
I don't think he can quite believe his luck. 22 darts. It took Paul Hogan. But what he can do now is really punish Jason Heaver's giving himself a real telling off behind the hockey.
100.
I think we'll see Hogan kick in from here.
Well, we mentioned the proximity between this pair geographically, and I wouldn't
60.
mind suggesting that they're likely to have run into each other many a time in local competitions. I believe they play
45.
in the same ADC vault on a Monday night in Basingstoke.
It has a fearless match that they know each other.
58.
Paul Gibbs was the partner of Paul Hogan. Big thanks to Sarah for the message. And Angela. And Mark.
40.
Didn't know you had so many contacts, Glenn.
I'm just creating a few names so I look popular.
Sounded like that beautiful South song then.
This could be.
Ah, lovely darts. Superb darts.
180.
Perfect darts from Jason Heaver.
Yeah, just as Paul Hogan was taking control of this game.
26.
The pendulum may be swinging back towards a man nicknamed Tsunami. Good cover shot.
86. 60.
So unlike
Jason,
Paul
you
Hogan,
require 170.
he is leading 2-1, but nowhere near his best. As Heaver looks at tops.
77.
Wants to stay straight and ensure a
100,
finish is
Jason,
left
requires
just in
40.
case. Heaver has missed 6
James
starts
on the
at
fourth
double in
leg,
this game, but he
Jason
doesn't
Heaver.
miss a 7th and levels it up at 2-2.
Well, if they do play vaults together in the
It's Jason
ADC,
to throw
they're
first.
often best of threes. And that's exactly what this game is right now. Heaver has the advantage of throwing first. Been a very scrappy game so far, certainly on the part of Paul Hogan, who's only
100.
averaging mid-70s. Jason Heaver just taking his average up to 86. But very much still all to play for.
60.
Struggling to find that treble.
$100. $100.
Finishing last night north of 40%, Jason Heaver. Paul Hogan was actually
140.
slightly better, very, very slightly better. Both hit 13 doubles. Heaver from 32, Hogan from 31.
No problems with the doubles tonight either for Paul Hogan. He's 2 from 2. It's a
60.
score. He just cannot buy a treble.
Jason, you reckon 161.
Heaver will have the chance to lead. 6 starts from 161. May look at the ball with his last.
100.
Decided against it, and it paid off because he found the treble.
Hallelujah, he says. And how typical is that? When one treble comes, the rest follow. But Heaver well ahead, gone aggressive with the 25 to leave double 18.
Game show on the
Heaver
fifth
leads this
leg.
match by
Jason
3 legs
Heaver.
to 2.
And it was Paul Hogan's finishing that won this
against
game
Balls to
last night.
Game
4 out of 5, if you recall, when the pair met, including checkouts of 78 and 101. His doubles, as Glenn just mentioned, have not been a problem. You can see that 100%, but getting to them has been the issue in this match for Paul Hogan.
And what you get with Paul Hogan, you know exactly how he's feeling. Wears his heart on his sleeve.
100.
The shake of the head there, the shoulders going down. He can't really explain, which tells me that he was probably practicing mighty fine in the back room. But that transition onto stage, it ain't happening right now. For the first time in this Group B. Worrying times here for Hogan.
$60.
I predict a big treble.
Probably grateful to be on third tonight. He did get stuck in a bit of traffic and travelling here this evening, Paul Hogan, so hasn't had the ample preparation time that he would have hoped.
58.
And darts players are creatures of habit, Glenn, aren't they?
Yeah, some players like the Merv Kings like to be here 7 hours before.
38.
To Christopher Ratajski, who was someone who was 45 minutes once. He was a minute away from me claiming a game at the European Championships. He gets there. I was gutted when he walks in.
84.
Even more gutted half an hour later when he smashed me with 109 average.
Yeah. You wondered how he'd found his car keys. You knew where he'd put them.
It was the only way I was winning games that year.
95.
And there are other players that, when you're in the practice room, they're on the practice board all the time. There are other players who are never on it.
Yeah, Michael Smith was a good
96.
4 hours, just non-stop.
We reckon 166.
Mensa Sulovic, big practicer. But Hogan, he's been tried and tested, but it ain't been transferred. He's not out of this game. Heaver averaging now just shy of 90.
Jason, you reckon 102.
And for the first time, we can say this is for the match. He's going to get a match start. Has to stop. There's a big target there of a 10 or the 6, but he's gone for the tops route.
62.
Couldn't quite take out 102. Can Hogan take out 101? Hasn't missed a dart double in the game, and he goes to his old favourite, his old faithful.
65.
But it doesn't serve him this time.
Jason, you require 40.
Just one of those games for Paul Hogan. Heaver's got to take this opportunity. He's been good on double 10. He moves across once again. It's a tactic he's used, and once again it works for Jason Heaver.
Jason Heaver.
That's a really big win. These head-to-head between the top 4 players. Head-scratcher for Paul Hogan. He looked pretty disappointed as he walks off there, but he just felt Jason Heaver was the better player. The statistics show that throughout the game. He's the first player to move to 8 points, and the big games keep on coming. It's Usher versus Yansen next.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series on Pluto TV, and it won't cost you a penny to watch some brilliant darts action and some dancing, by the looks of it, from Graham Usher, who's getting in the groove. Danny Yansen now demonstrating his moves as well. They look better on the dartboard than they do on the dance floor, I can tell you that much. But all smiles at the moment, Graham Usher. He's had a strong start to the evening, as had Yansen. They're both now on 6 points. And a win for either here would give them a great chance of making it through to finals night.
Yeah, one of the highlights of this week was the game between the pair of them yesterday.
First. Game on.
Graham Usher was on a losing streak of 2 out of 2. And then he produced the goods against Danny Yansen. He beat him 4-0 in 6 minutes and 1 second. It was a catalyst to get him going. And since then, he's won 3 on the spin, put himself in a really good position and goes into this match as favourite.
43.
Danny Yansen will have been relieved to win that opening game against Heaver, who's gone on to beat Hogan. These head-to-heads, Chris, are going to be really important over the next hour or so.
Well, absolutely, and there's no guarantee that 8 points will get you through. We are in that situation where there is still no guarantee that 10 points will get you through, which is unthinkable. Never happened before.
60. $139.
He wasn't getting as involved in the moves, was he, as Graham Usher at the start of the match?
125.
Yansen don't feel like dancing.
Good. Yeah. There was a couple of laughters last night. I'll try it again.
Graham, you're 135.
I'll do it again tomorrow as well.
Why not? If he's there. If he's there, Glenn.
63.
Right, Chris,
Danny,
does this go?
107.
Yes. 72, you meant?
90. Graham, you're recording 72.
I just feel every time Danny Yansen at the hockey has got the capability of doing something special. Couldn't showcase it on that occasion.
Game shown
Graham
the first
Usher
leg. Graham
ensures he holds throw in the first leg.
Yeah, in one sense, I think Graham Usher knows his scoring power is there this week. So even something as simple as a 72 will really satisfy him. The job, I guess, is to then put it all together. But really good signs for the man from Scarborough at the moment. I said yesterday, never mind value in this group. He was the favourite at 7-5, and I said he would go on and win the group. Well, I was getting nervous when he lost those first 2.
Well, if you were to look at the league table now, you would see, Glenn,
60.
that Graham Usher
$125.
There we go. You would see that Graham Usher's top, Glenn, and you would be right.
By magic.
60.
It's my timing. It's the way I tell him.
98.
Yeah, and you can see how close it is between them all. If Usher wins this, he goes into 8 points with Heaver. Hogan and
81.
Yansen would stay on 6.
Danny, you're 120.
For 1-1. Good response this from Danny.
100. $83. Danny, you required 20.
Or 10 for parity.
$10.
Yeah, all 3 darts were
Graham,
just a
you're
little bit wild there
170.
for Danny Yansen. And when you're playing someone like Graham Usher, those opportunities have to go.
85.
Unexpected
Danny,
second chance he may
10.
feel.
Game's on the second leg. Danny
And
Yansen.
we do have that parity 1-1. He sort of went under the radar a little bit, Danny Yansen. Was even told that out the 4 top players, he may be the one tonight who may miss out. But that opening tight win over Jason Heaver. If he can get over the line against Graham Usher, he's going to put himself in a fantastic position. And
125.
2 games to come, which he'll fancy his chances in.
Yeah, still very, very little to go
140.
on, really, as to which 3 of the 4 will go through. All we do know is that it won't be Carl
60.
Coleman. Can only now get to 6. That's definitely not going to be enough.
140. $60.
A match
Graham
going with throw.
121.
And this time after 9 darts, it's Graham Usher, who's down to 1-2-1 and going to leave a very
81.
manageable finish. Yansen way back on 2-5-6.
$98. Graham, you require 40.
So double top for Usher becomes double 10, becomes double 5, has a look at the Yansen score, decides whether or not he should go for it, decides he had to,
35.
and misses.
And they require 158.
Yeah, I thought he did everything right there. The maximum respect to Danny Yansen. Well, when he's seen the 158. We've seen so many mind games, even in the professional darts, where people are splitting them. Does he get there in the end?
3.
Well, he won his
And
last match with a 5
60.
checkout, but he couldn't carry on in the same vein there. And this really opens the door for Yansen out of nowhere to break the throw and take control of the match.
Game shot on
And
the
the
third
Dutchman
edge.
does so.
Danny Yansen.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Fourth leg, it's Danny to throw first. Game on.
Work to do for Usher. Danny Yansen doing a lot of his business at the back end of legs.
100. $140.
The way the pair played in Group A, I don't think many would have expected
55.
a finals night without both of them.
Yeah, that was a response from Henry Deacon as well when we talked about Group B. He felt it was these two
92.
would go through and one from the other 3. Still could be. And it's Jansen who's looking very, very good.
140. $43.
Just a little bit of a dip in performance from Graham Usher in the last leg and a half. Already started when he missed those doubles, chased the doubles around at the end of the last leg, and
140.
has been teasing 100 averages in many of his matches, but he's in the mid-80s here.
100. Danny records 66.
Well, interestingly, we had a bit of fun with the in-play table as Danny looks for a 3-1 lead. And if top scores,
26.
there's a real
Graham,
possibility that Usher goes from 1st to 4th. This is how tight this is, because they've double 6 going. It's all changes again.
The fourth
The whole
leg.
horizon at one
Graham
point there.
Usher.
He's gone from top to 4th. Pings a 1-2-6.
The flag is Graham to throw
That's the
first.
quality
Game on.
of Graham Usher.
And a perfectly pitched opener there.
85.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You mentioned, I think you used the word explosive earlier on to describe Usher. And that's the thing, isn't it? Your
60.
opponent can feel quite comfortable in a game, and then suddenly a couple of shots and they're all over the place. You've put them in a spin, and there are other times when they feel
81.
like you're throwing everything at them, and then he just disappears for a leg or two.
Yeah, you could say that with many of these
58.
rhythm players. Like I say, times that can look $1 million, and that's exactly what Graham Usher's all about.
100.
Jansen will have to find something from here now, because this match
133.
was getting away from him, but that brings him back into this leg. Let me see Graham goes centre of the board with the last one.
65.
That leaves the big fish.
Well, you asked me, Glenn, earlier in the match,
60.
so I'm going to ask you, does
Graham,
this go, yes
170.
or no?
Get this on the edit reel, because it's not going to go. I'm telling you, it's not going to. See, I told you.
90.
I'd have loved him to get the first 2 and not gone for it, and you'd said yes. But 80 when he comes back to regain the lead. Jansen trying to force some pressure.
95.
Too
Graham,
many
you require
times
80.
players have missed the big numbers going for these types of finishes today. Usher's not in that category.
Game
In fact,
shot
that's a
on the fifth
beautiful
leg.
finish, a
Graham Usher.
1-2-6, backed up with an 80 finish. Usher provisionally goes back top.
Sixth flag is Danny
Yeah,
to throw
looking at a
first.
4-match
Game
winning streak as well. Lost his first 2 games in this group, but then has beat the same 2 players twice if he wins this game.
140.
Then he's looking for revenge against the 2 that he lost to. Paul Hogan and Jason Heaver.
81. $60.
Big game coming for Paul Hogan next. He'll go into that match with Carl Coleman as favourite, but on the back of his most disappointing performance on that stage for a while. How will he react?
100.
I guess all the other players then become Carl Coleman fans, don't they? Because he can still play a part in the
65.
qualification process he won't be going through. He was inspired so much by the run of Jamie Durrett last week, but he can still play a part of
94.
who qualifies.
$81.
Oh, that's a kind of careless start from Usher. Should have been leaving a finish there.
And his
49.
careless start is often his final dart. Even more frustrating if the 2 trebles go in. Why does it? Yeah. You don't need commentary. Just look at the facial expressions there from Graham.
139.
It's a
Danny,
good
157.
leave. But he may not get a go.
Game shot on the 6th.
And this one goes the distance.
Danny Yansen.
This time last night, we'd not seen any matches get
7
anywhere
from
near
final
going the
against Graham to
distance.
throw first. Game on.
Yeah, a couple of good 2 dart finishes from Danny Yansen. A 60 finish and a 57. His tops has been good for him. What he'd give for one of his monster 180s right now.
140.
We are going the distance.
60.
And Yansen has the better of the opening exchange.
57.
No treble in visit 2 for either player.
Yeah, I literally can't take my eyes off the in-play table.
85.
It is madness. Even a leg difference has taken place 2 or 3 places lower and higher, respectively.
134.
Well, it's a 170 again.
55. Danny Brook 170.
Doesn't have to go for it.
Now it's nervous moments, and that will frustrate because he's got this leg in the palm of his hands.
44.
That is the one thing he didn't and shouldn't have happened there. He's bringing this man back into this leg. Again, could go centre of the board.
105.
Smart
Danny Brook
darts
126.
from Graham Usher to leave a 2-darter. Janssen needs to locate that treble 19. Can't do it, so Usher will get the opportunity to seal a win.
58. Graham Brook 196.
Down to the wire. Decision. What a dart.
56.
Threatened
Danny Brook 168.
by the gambler, who went all in on double-double. But are the odds now stacked against him? As Jansen looks for double 16,
52.
he fails to find it. And Usher now wants tops to go top.
Game
And top
shot
of the
of
table.
match.
Graham Usher, that was a real
Graham
battle.
Usher.
Maybe holding his hands up there, but the delight inside was there to be seen. Danny Jansen's been involved in 2, 4, 3 tonight. He's won 1, he's lost 1. He'll come back from the day, but Graham Usher's absolutely delighted with that win. He is dipping his toe for qualification. Not much look at the numbers there, hardly anything to separate them. The 126 was the highlight for Usher. It's Paul Hogan needs to find something. He's up next against Carl Coleman.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Welcome back to the live lounge in Portsmouth, where this Group B is getting very, very tasty indeed. We've got 2 players now on 8 points, Graham Usher and Jason Heaver. Most weeks, you'll be through on that amount. Not this week, not this group. Paul Hogan, if he can beat Carl Coleman, who's yet to win, will join the pair of them on 8. And Danny Yansen, who's sitting on their shoulders on 6. Nothing to separate the top 4, but only 3 can go through. For Carl Coleman, he could still have a big say. If he can find his first win, who does it come against?
Game on.
And how much damage does it do?
Yeah, I was just thinking about Danny Yansen there, because he was a couple of millimetres away from a double 16 to beat Usher. And now he's sat in 4th place. That's how tight it is. And
140.
one of these 4 exceptional players, one of them's going to miss out. Carl Coleman can't qualify now. That might just relax him. I'd love to see the best from him on there. Promise myself no bias when I'm sat here watching him. But it's incredible how proud, you know, I'm seeing a lot of the players, the Jamie Owens, the Jamie Durrants, the Gary Hayes, help me out from they all want to be here. Johnny Barnes is another exceptional player who I know can do real damage on that stage. And so Carl will be disappointed. It's a great opportunity for him to be here. And I know how disappointed he was last night. Now he will be.
Yeah, the one for me of the players you mentioned there, Jamie Owens has really made a mark at the Super Series this year. There was a 170 checkout on a finals night that just has been etched in my memory.
Yeah, I see it on a lot of the advertising. I did a little exhibition with them recently. Good character. A lot of respect. Carl, you know, people like Carl Coleman speak so highly of him as well. And he's got that competitive spirit as well. He's not afraid of anybody on that.
Hogan will just do his job. That's what he always does.
Oh, you have a 106.
106 is the job in front of him right now. And double 16.
74.
would have completed the task.
Kindly require 160.
It's a super dart.
140.
Yeah, good setup, but
32.
he'll be hoping Hogan doesn't find the target.
Game shot on the first
And
leg.
you can't
for
really
Hogan.
hope that against Hogan too much.
Yeah, but look at the reaction there from Paul. It's an awful
Second
lot
leg,
of
it's
relief
Cole to
there.
throw first.
He's not
Game.
feeling 100%. Maybe that's just that expectation that he has. There were some lovely moments between the pair of them yesterday. You know, when Carl won a leg, it was a great touch on Paul, Hogan, which I know he appreciated. But you just sense the importance for Paul for this game. He'll have been disappointed with that first match.
100.
But a good game between the pair of them early doors.
$43.
Yeah, just hoping that Carl can relax now. Not think too much about needing to get that first win. Just try and enjoy the rest of his campaign.
I think he is. I think he's... I mean, I know what it's like to be losing 5 out of 5 in a Group B, and
You do well, Glenn. I mean, even you couldn't manage that.
Yes, he doesn't want that.
There's only 4 in a night.
He certainly doesn't want Henry Deacon remind him every time that he's played 8 and lost 8, but I can see that he's feeling
42.
better. I can see he's playing better. And as I look at the numbers, he's averaging over 95 at the moment in this match.
You just remind Henry Deacon about that Influencers Dart Showdown.
58.
Yes, I must admit, when it was mentioned, a couple of people in the production did remind me.
And I think we should get Henry on stage as an influencer in the next event.
100. Calling back 160.
Well, he's beaten he before. The sweetest treble 20 with the first time last time. I think when Carl does analyse his matches, those
30.
drifts into the 5 are something that he needs to change. And that can be your body shape. That can be just maybe where he's standing. But there's just been 1, 2. It could be just a little bit of tension. But that dart ain't coming out the hand correctly.
140. Calling back 130.
130 then. 1 treble required, but not that one.
54. Paul, you're requiring 76. $58. Carly requires 76.
This simply has to go.
$26. Paul, you require 18.
Help or hindrance? Looking very much like a hindrance now.
This would be the dart of the night. I can only assume by just aiming for double 12, that right at the top part of the double 9.
9. Carly require 50.
So 50 for Coleman.
I thought you said Conan, because if it was, we know which way he'd be going.
Well, he's missed
18.
2 big
Paul,
numbers.
you require 9.
And might think, maybe I should have gone for the bullseye. At least it'd be a dart at a double.
I feel like I'm throwing every dart with him at the moment. But this for 2-0.
7.
God, he looked so good last night,
Carly
didn't he, Paul
require
Hogan?
32.
What a difference 24-hour make. It's just not recognisable from last night. Coleman back for another chance.
And this time he nails it.
Coleman.
Not that either player looks happy on that stage at the moment.
So look, it's Paul to throw first. Game on. $100. $45.
So I just want to have a little look at the side throws, because the release of the dart from Hogan is something I've always admired. If you look how smooth that release of the arm.
100.
And the only thing I've seen with Carl that I haven't seen from him for, I can just see it's not as smooth. And it's not as smooth as when I've stood behind him and watched that throw there.
125.
So nice and smooth release. Shouldn't be any effort whatsoever when you're throwing the die. The timing supersedes the power.
41.
And I just think when Carl's, I'm just wondering why he's hitting so many fires. He's coming from that left angle. It's almost like a bit of a flick that just let that arm extend
43.
beautifully. It just feels more of a jab rather than the smoothness of the Hogan throw.
Both players are constantly
44.
berating themselves in this game. It's almost difficult to watch. You see, one of them's waving their arms in the air, the other one's headbutting the air.
140.
Well, it worked. As I've said many times, Chris, it can be the best place in the world, all the memories, all the practice.
60.
And at times it can be
Only
the
record
loneliest person. I can't
148.
remember the last time I've seen Paul Hogan like this. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we were saying it's Hogan through plus two others.
60.
And
Paul,
he's
you
making
record
real hard work
156.
against it.
Well, can he find something spectacular here? 156 on double 18.
120.
Just missing
Coley
the
record
double.
88.
And Coleman's got a chance to break here.
Should get at least a dart at the bullseye, so he's got to say straight. 18s. Giving himself an opportunity. He loves the bull. Honest.
43.
Well, Hogan certainly
Paul, you
does love
record
double 18.
36.
But not in this match. Double 9 saw him come a
Change on the
cropper
third leg.
in the previous
Paul Hogan.
leg, but no trouble in locating it this time. Hogan ahead
Full
at
flag, it's
2-1.
Cole to throw first. Game on.
I mean, the psychology of it is the fact that if you'd have said to Carl at the beginning is maybe, yeah, there's maybe something, maybe the heat. He's just getting Hogan bright. He's played on some of the best stages in the world.
84.
So it won't be new to him being warm up there. But if you said to Carl Coleman, your opponent's going to average 75 or 5, which Paul's doing, Carl would feel he'd be at least 2-1 up, 3-0 up.
$140.
Now that time he made it look ridiculously easy.
$140.
But I guess for Paul Hogan, the most important is the 2 points. It would move him back onto a qualifying
85.
position. And again, just looking at the provisional table, move him up to 8 points. And how important is leg difference going to be, Chris?
Well, just looking at the remaining fixtures, if Hogan wins this, he's on 8. Heaver and Usher will go head-to-head next, so one of them will get to 10. If Yansen beats Hogan and Coleman, he'll be on 10.
121. Or you have 161.
And if Usher beats Hogan, I'm just trying to work out. I think there is still a possibility of all the players, all 4 finishing on 10. That's what I'm getting at.
I'll leave that to you. That's okay.
51. Paul, you require 64.
For a 3-1 lead, double 16. It's been kind to him tonight, double 16. Paul Hogan really takes control of this game. It's been scrappy.
Fifth leg, it's Paul to throw
Maybe a
first.
shake of the head. You often associate Paul Hogan with double 18, but double 16's been kind to him tonight. Twice it's helped him out. Carl's in the background, shaking his head.
95.
Paul Hogan straight in with the treble 20. He'd be slightly disappointed with that 95 after that beautiful first dart, but maybe the 2 points on the board will get Hogan going tonight. He's got bigger games to come.
Yeah, just confirmation that that is still a possibility. 4 players tied the 11 series that have taken place.
140. 38.
And that is a big chunk of weeks, that, isn't it?
135.
Well, my maths something around the 140 mark. I've never seen that 140 group in 140-ish Group Bs.
140. Paul, you reckon 131.
Keep an eye on that, but Hogan finally sees that winning line. It hasn't been pretty this game.
91.
Well, leaves himself double top and Coleman way back on 283.
60. Paul, you require
So to get the
40.
job done,
$20.
not in that visit, but he will be back.
$78. Paul, you require 20.
He gets there in the end. It wasn't pretty for Paul Hogan.
Hogan.
Lots of head scratching, shaking of heads, but the most important point for Paul Hogan was to get himself on the board. That might kickstart his night for Carl Coleman. Another tough match for him. He will play 2 of the last 3 games, so he's got a little bit of a break now, but Paul Hogan up and running. He gets the 2 points, joins that gaggle of players on 8 points, and the big games keep on coming. It's Jason Heaver next against Graham Usher.
$54. Charlie require 164. $44. $32. Charlie require 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls of this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
require
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
It's a moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie
approaching the
require
hockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George
require
Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
require
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy. Couldn't get the job done.
And the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate!
This is what's happened in the opening 5 fixtures in Group B tonight. 4-3 to Danny Yansen over Jason Heaver in the opening before Usher swept Carl Coleman aside 4-0. Heaver then got the better of Paul Hogan 4-2. Graham Usher beat Danny Yansen 4-3, and Paul Hogan then got the better of Carl Coleman, 4-1 after losing his opening match. Everybody's beating everybody apart from Carl, of course, who's yet to pick up any points, and that's why there are only 2 points separating 4 players in the table. And as we said, there is still a potential of all of them finishing on the same number of points. We'll keep you across the permutations as the evening goes on, but remember, only 3 can go through. Next game is 2 of those players on 8, so you would have to say whoever were to win this match would have a foot in finals night. It wouldn't be a guarantee, but 10 points has always been enough to qualify anybody in this group historically, and either Jason Heaver or Graham Usher will get there at the end of this best of 7 leg encounter.
Yeah, it was a
First leg is
masterclass of
Jason to
finishing.
throw first. Game
Jason Heaver in this game yesterday. Usher scored delightfully, but it was 4 from 5 and 110 finish as well to Jason Heaver. And what was the game of the night? I've been impressed with Heaver tonight. He's scoring bigger, and if he can put those doubles that he was doing yesterday,
100.
we will see him tomorrow. This is another big game. We continue to say that.
Yeah, what a start. And that's perfect, you know. Carry on. Carry on. Oh, and what a carry on it would have been.
180.
We'll have more of this. Don't hit another one.
140.
Oh, what a start. On throw. 9 darts thrown. 41 left. Beautiful.
Yeah, he's averaging 153.
Yeah, 41.
Jason Heaver. It's going to come crashing down in a sec.
21.
And he may not even win the leg.
Graham, you require 121.
Yeah, Usher's been good tonight. We'll go to the 11th segment for the bullseye.
96.
Well, what a start to
Jason,
this
you require
game. It
20.
may be a decisive game as well. The winner will get to 10 points and will have a foot in finals night. Both of them are up for it, and out of the blocks, like greyhounds.
No score.
Yes, he's already
Graham,
lost.
you require
Already
25.
missed more darts at a double than he did in the whole game yesterday against Graham Usher.
Game shot the first.
He couldn't look when Heaver was going for those darts at a double. He certainly stared out that double 8.
Second leg, it's Graham
And
to
it's
throw
looking
first.
a good night for Graham Usher. He is on that 4-match winning streak.
100.
Yeah, flying now, and he might actually prove Glenn Durrant right.
100.
He said Graham Usher will win this group. When he lost his first couple of matches, it didn't look likely, but he has been on
135.
the march since then.
Yes, it was Carl Wilkinson made me nearly look good in Group C as well, but it was Jamie Kellen who topped the group and set up that old Yorkshire class. The first match tomorrow night will be Carl Wilkinson versus Tom Sykes. And then that intriguing possibility if Graham Usher finishes second tonight. That Yorkshire team, but the way Usher's playing, you have to say he must be favourite to go and finish tonight top of the table.
Graham, you have 140.
Well, he was the favourite before a dart was thrown. Heaver was the favourite before tonight got underway.
65. $100. Graham, you require 80.
For a 2-0 lead. Playing beautifully. That's awkward, isn't it?
40. Jason, you require 156.
Well, it needs to be a biggie here from Heaver. 2 treble 20s. There's one of them. There's the other one for double 18. Oh, what a slam dunk that is from Jason Heaver. Having watched Graham Usher miss a dart at tops, he steps in with a seismic shot to break him.
Yeah, we saw a lot of fist pumping between these 5 last night. Interesting. No eye contact, no nothing at all. For a devastating finish from Jason Heaver.
140.
Kicked off this match with a maximum. Slammed in an enormous check out there, and now he's finding the big shots again.
45. $85. $81.
Such a good front run as well, Graham Usher. Maybe that was why the disappointment he was on a finish himself, looking good for a 2-0 lead.
85.
And when he does that, we've seen him yesterday with a 4-0 victory in 6 minutes. So fair play to Heaver. He's been excellent tonight, whatever happens in this game.
65. Jason, you've got 134. $57. Graham, you require 107.
Your turn, Chris. Does it go?
No. I'm learning. Learn from the best.
44. Jason, you require 77.
But this may go. $58 remaining.
Interestingly, Graham Usher's on 126. The finish is already hit tonight. Not to be this time.
Yeah, but 2 missed numbers, 2 big numbers were missed by Jason Heaver, meaning he's got to still waste a dart to get to a double here. Chooses tops, hits tops.
On the third leg.
Heaver ahead at 2-1.
The twists and turns in this group is incredible. In-play table now shows that it's Jason Heaver who would be the first player to get the 10 points.
123.
Could the bookies be right? Eyebrows raised to see him favourite to top the group tonight.
Whoa!
But with those darts, beginning to understand why.
Yeah, second max for him in this match. Second time he's began a leg with a perfect visit.
95. $60.
This will test the character of Graham Usher. Sure, in the back of the mind is that result between the pair of them yesterday.
$44. $140.
Good leg of darts in response from the Scarborough man. 43 after a dozen.
$97. Graham, Heaver, coin 43.
Just a reminder to Usher, don't you dare miss, Heaver said.
Game, show the fourth leg.
Miss, he does a 2-2. Quality game.
Fifth leg is Jason to throw first. Game on.
Both players averaging in the 90s.
$60.
Heaver drops just below that. Usher looking to jump on that opportunity.
I think he sensed the real opportunity there. Heaver seems to have the answers tonight.
140.
3 180s in this game. 2 heavy hitters.
92.
pace very noticeable. Both love to get on with it. Both know where the treble 20 is.
135.
Both striving for the first play to be 10 points.
Graham Usher hasn't really,
100.
I was going to say, thought about that. We could have seen a situation there where one player was on 166 and the other was on 169. That would be quite telling.
130.
Good to see.
99.
Heaver taking
Jason,
real
136.
control once again. He was pegged back to 2-2,
James on
but
the fifth
leads
edge,
3-2. He
Jason
goes
Heaver.
one away. This is a big match for Jason Heaver. And we're seeing the real best of him.
Pacific
He's
is
taking his
ready for
average
reverse.
over
Game on.
94. Can Usher respond? He's done it before. But he won't like
41.
those 3 darts.
And no match is won before it's played, but a reminder that Jason Heaver's final game is against Carl Coleman.
180.
If he wins this one, he'll be on 10 points. That should be enough to get through, though not certainty. But if he
Six.
wins that, he'll be on 12, and that will be a guarantee. Although he might be through before he plays that match, depending on the way things go in other games.
121.
Yeah, the big games keep on coming as well. I'm looking at Danny Yansen, who's just detached slightly. He's up next against Paul Hogan.
36.
Yeah, well, if Heaver wins this, or whoever wins this, they get to 10, and then Yansen loses. He's not catching them, is he? He's only got one left after that, so that could be huge for
41.
this group. If Hogan beats Yansen, it would be looking like Heaver, Usher, and Hogan going through.
60.
Graham Usher's final game tonight would be against Paul Hogan.
59.
He'll be feeling a little bit more chipper after his win over Carl Coleman. Needs a maximum. Needs it.
140.
Heaver
Jason,
has
you're
been
100.
excellent in this match. He was favourite going into tonight. And once again,
Game, shut out the
beautiful
match.
finishes from Jason Heaver.
Jason Heaver.
An excellent performance against a fantastic player in Graham Usher. He quickly leaves the stage there. But it's Jason Heaver who's the first player to move to 10 points. 2 wins over Graham Usher in this Group B campaign. And he sits pretty at the top. Excellent numbers. The 156 was the highlight. And the big games keep on coming this time. It's Paul Hogan against Danny Yansen.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we've been counting our fingers and toes in the break, and as a result can now confirm that 10 points is enough for qualification, meaning that Jason Heaver is through. Any of the players in second, third or fourth place can still get to 10, but not all of them, so 10 points will be enough to at least finish in the top 3. So that is how things stand this evening. Heaver through. We'll find out the remaining players that go through to this week's finals shortly. But this is the lineup for next week here at the Modus Super Series. And what a Group A that is. Derek Coulson, Steve West, John Worsley and Andreas Harrison, all former weekly winners in Group A, along with the former World Youth Champion Keegan Brown. Kevin Painter returning to the Super Series stage in Group B, along with Kevin Edwards and the 9-dart hero Tommy Lishman, and Robbie Long, Scott Baker and Barry Copeland make up Group C. It should be another thrilling week here at the Live Lounge. And here on Pluto TV, we can now look at this next game, and it feels crucial for Danny Yansen, who's may have to win his last 2 games to get through. Because of that previous result, we know that Paul Hogan only needs to win 1 of his last 2 games, but they are against Yansen and Usher. It's not an easy feat, but victory here for Hogan, and he'll be joining Jason Heaver at finals night.
First leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, an awful lot of talk as well about the ADC qualifiers while we're in this commentary box. A little bit of history as well tonight. Just looking at my social media, and one of the vaults up in the northeast, Angela Kirkwood becomes the first lady to win a vault. Big Kevin McDine in the semi-final. And a real
97.
top northeast player in Paul Williams in the final. So big up to Angela. Another fantastic victory, and an excellent once again for the ADC.
Yeah, and had Angela here at the recent Women's Week, of course, at the Modus Super Series. Fantastic news.
60.
Bring you all the breaking darts news here on our 24/7 dedicated darts channel, and apparently some football news as well.
41.
Breaking news at Crystal Palace.
$135.
Yeah, I'm not doing football this season, Glenn, to be honest.
I wouldn't if I supported Sheffield Wednesday.
140.
I just hope Sheffield Wednesday aren't signing Ronnie Baxter. Otherwise, it could be a nightmare here at the Modus Super Series.
96.
Well, it's Danny Yansen hoping to shoot and score when he returns. 113 to break Hogan in the first
99.
leg. Remember, Jansen's on
Danny
6
broke
points, but does have
130.
2 games left.
Yeah, he does have Carl Coleman in the last game of the night. I think he'd take that if he can get over the line against Hogan here. Started this first leg beautifully.
93. Paul, you require
One of the most
133.
difficult finishes in 1-3-3, going the traditional route to treble 20. I've seen so many people go treble 19, double 19, double 19. In which our referee tonight, Owen Bing, said that's his
93.
favourite finish.
And he required 20.
Well, that
16.
certainly won't
Paul, you
be
require
Danny's
40.
favourite finish, that 20, because he's just offered Hogan a hold of throw. Gift wrapped.
Game shot on the first leg. Paul
And
Hogan.
he doesn't look the gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, I like that response there from
Second leg, it's
Paul
Danny
Hogan.
to
Doesn't
throw
often give
first.
too much
Game
away.
on.
They often shake at the head, the arms are in the air, but that little fist pump that went in, that's how much it means to these players. But you could literally
57.
see the colour drain out of Danny as he missed 3 darts at a double there. That's a tough one. He needs to bounce back quickly.
Do you have a favourite finish, Glenn?
55.
64. 1-3-2. You're not going to say a double one, Chris. It's not going to be like this little comeback here, is there?
No. I think you're thinking of your other co-commentator there. A favourite shot? Not a finish, like a set-up shot or anything like that?
I was going to say Sambuca, but
80.
if you're offering.
Yeah, we've been... All the old ones are the best. Favourite double, cheeseburger?
96.
love that.
100.
That 149 setup when it's treble 20, bull, treble 13.
168.
Excellent from Yansen. His scoring's been dynamic. Fluffed his lines in the opening leg at the finishing. Deserves to be level. Doesn't want to go down to double five again. That's a beautiful dart from Danny Yansen. He's back in this game. We're level after 2.
Third leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
All square. The mullet trying to force his way through. He said at the start of the night he felt that he would have to win 3 matches
100.
or win 2 and hope. He won his first one 4-3. He lost his second one 4-3. So now he is at the point of no return where he is tiptoeing
100.
across the tungsten trapdoor.
Yeah, we used to hear so many players that just take one game at a time, etc. But we had a real great insight from Carl Wilkinson when he said he actually
81.
studied the list of games that he had and targeted certain areas of that Group C campaign. And to hear Danny Yansen tonight know exactly what he wanted, it's good to see.
Yeah, we also saw Jamie Kennan get it wrong, didn't we, earlier? Although he got it right in the end because he won the match,
100.
but he thought he only needed 1 leg when he needed 2.
$100.
It's going to be tough to pick a winner. Some real big scorers. Tom Sykes, already through Carl Wilkinson and Jamie Keller and Jason Heaver. Whetting the appetite, and with darts like that, it could soon be Paul Hogan joining them.
90. Paul, you require 40. Game show on the third leg.
Nicely
Paul
done.
Hogan.
13 dart to that from Hogan. 2 out of 2 on the doubles.
Fourth leg, it's Danny to throw
Making
first.
Danny Yansen work for
Game
this. Remember, if Hogan wins, he goes through. He has got the insurance of another match. That's against Graham Usher,
84.
who may need to win that to go through himself.
He'd have been delighted with his doubles ratio in his opening game. And you just sense Paul Hogan, the issues that he had against Carl Coleman have been put to bed. 2 from 2 on the doubles, averaging over 90. It was a nervy start tonight for Paul Hogan, unlike him.
100.
But he's closing in on qualification.
And we've just passed the midnight hour, which means we can wish a very happy birthday to one of next week's players, Kevin Painter. Many happy returns to the artist.
140.
Also, Tom Cromwell celebrates today, the 12th of June, and a dart player, very aptly, named Liam Gallagher. Of course, Oasis
87.
returning to Manchester tonight.
$140.
I got some of their special reunion soup, Glenn. You get a roll with it.
82. Paul, you require 121.
Just glad production didn't hear that as Hogan looking for a 3-1 lead. He's finding his form all of a sudden for his beloved double 18.
103.
I keep saying beloved
Danny
18. It hasn't really
148.
been his best double of tonight.
Well, what about... I was getting
100.
ready.
Paul,
He
you
was
require 18.
on the tip of my tongue, double 14, but he didn't get the treble 20 to leave him there. Hogan now trying to clean up the remainder. Says, come on.
Big dart. Janssen can't look.
10.
He won't know how
Danny
close that
required
was, how
48.
close he was to trading 3-1.
Yeah, some tight games tonight. Danny Janssen in his opening game of the night went the distance.
Game show
This
the fourth
could
leg.
go the distance.
Danny
Such
Jansen.
an important match. And you can see what Hogan thinks of that.
Fifth leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on. 100. $120.
Oh, that will hurt. That was all the way 180.
This is jeopardy for both players, make no mistake about it, because Danny Jansen, of course, only has 6 points. He's got 2 matches left.
6.
But if he beats Paul Hogan, then beats Carl Coleman. He gets to 10. Hogan's remaining matches against Graham Usher. If he fails to win either of them, he could find himself in 4th place and missing out on 8 points tonight.
60.
Because Usher and Yansen would both be on 10 then, wouldn't they?
Yeah, quite simply, that Hogan-Usher game is, dare I say, a knockout match.
Yeah, but if Hogan wins this one, then there's no pressure on that one because he's already through. So he's going to get 2 matches that he goes into knowing winning you through, but 2 very difficult matches.
I think that's why the Group Bs are so enjoyable, but when you get a player who's so far detached and you're looking 3 from 4, those permutations seem to change by the minute.
Yeah, we are going to have big matches here on in, maybe until the last game, definitely until
85.
the penultimate game.
Danny Rock 139.
And there's a chance here for a breaker throw.
The score of 99 he'd take.
59, but we require 111.
Last night, these types of finishes were just meat and drink, but tonight, it just ain't happening for Paul Hogan. He is fighting, he is scrapping for his Group B survival. It's Yansen who has to break the throw of Paul Hogan if he's going to win this match. There's no better chance than this 80.
Gets himself 2 darts at double 10. Only needs
on
1.
the 5th leg.
Danny Yansen on the move here. Is it slipping away from Paul Hogan?
It's Danny to throw first. Game on. $58.
Once again, immediately going trebleless and opening the door for Paul Hogan. Not enough for them tonight, but the season campaigner, he'll have been in this situation many, many times. He'll be using every scrap of that knowledge.
98. $100.
Just every treble, Chris. Just seems to change from one, just as I think Jansen's taking control of the game. Look how tight it is.
Yeah. Heaver's through 10 points, despite the fact that there are only 2 points separating the top 4 players as things stand.
44.
Because if Danny Yansen wins this, in 4th place, he'll also be on 8 points. So despite that, Jason Heaver is still through,
58.
and that's because actually leg difference might not matter, because if Yansen wins this and beats Coleman, he'll be on 10, he'll be through, and only one of Usher or Hogan will be. That would be a straight shootout in that scenario.
Just while you were talking there, bad decision there from Paul. Should have gone to the 18s on 262. I was about to say, Danny, not putting too much pressure on the mistakes of Hogan, but those 2 treble 20s, and for the first time, the Dutch dartist is in a cracking position to win this game.
60 points away from a crucial victory. And he was so close to busting his score. But in the end, it is Danny Yansen who gets the all-important win. 4-2 over Paul Hogan. You can see he knows exactly the ramifications of that. He may remain in 4th place, but he remains in 4th with 1 match to play on 8 points. And if he beats Carl Coleman in the last match of the night, he will go through. Jason Heaver's already through. He's got Carl Coleman next, and then Graham Usher versus Paul Hogan is looking very much like a straight shootout. Stay with us.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
What an exciting night here at the Modus Super Series live on Pluto TV. An incredible Group B campaign, and Danny Yansen, the young man from Holland, has done himself a big favour against the experienced Paul Hogan, who sat top of the table overnight, but tonight just hasn't been his night. He has big things to come as Hogan. He'll be playing Graham Usher after this game. So many big games, whereas the one that we've got right now, we've got Carl Coleman taking his darts out, who still striving, searching for his first win against the player of the night in Jason
First
Heaver,
leg, it's
who has
Carl to throw
already
first.
qualified
Game on.
for a star-studded Saturday night. And for Carl Coleman, he's looked better than last night. He's putting himself in positions. No bias.
134.
But come on, Carl.
Yeah, freebie really for both players. Heaver just to flex his muscles a
76.
little bit, wrap up the group, of course. If he wins this one, he will top the table.
Yeah, we talked about the ADC. We opened up regarding Angela Kirkwood being the first lead.
100.
Carl Coleman is a person who does so much for others. He's heavily involved with Scott Hunt in the northeast for the ADC stuff. As Heaver just
180.
continuing to punish that treble 20. If there's one thing I would say to Carl, maybe, just maybe, start concentrating on yourself
45.
rather than others.
And you know what? For me, Heaver's just got that little bit more of a strut in his walk now.
99.
I mean, we almost laughed and joked about some of his performance last night because of the decision making with some of the finish, and now tonight there's a real potential for
58.
lifting that
Jason,
trophy.
you require
5,000 quid up for
146.
grabs tomorrow night as well. Four terrific players, and if he continues this form, treble 18 would have left double 16.
90. Carl over 160.
Jason Heaver, a name that everybody should remember.
33. Jason, you've got 56.
And he wants 56 here. Tops. Found that very interesting that he moved across to the left to have a go at double 10.
But always does it, has done for 2 days now. It's something he does, some tops to 10s, and he's been lethal on double 10 as well.
55.
So obviously disappointing, number one, that he's missed double 10, but also the fact he's hit a big number. We know it can get tricky on double 5.
Game
for most people, that is, but Heaver is just on a different level tonight.
I've seen some players move the other way, so it's sort of closer to it, and it's right down the line of the throw. But interestingly, he stepped in the opposite direction. And that's his way, and his way is working this week.
70.
Yes, you asked me if I was surprised at the odds as we started day 2. Number one, I was surprised that Paul Hogan was down to third favourite. Well, tonight certainly hasn't been the night for Crocodile Dundee. I was even more surprised that they went with Jason Heaver to top the group.
100.
Dare I say the bookies are right again.
$85.
There we say a perfectly pitched first start, but he ends up leaving the visit unhappy.
100.
And it's that dart into the 5 that he needs to create. And just see he stands on the left-hand side of the yockey. So there's a couple of options. I mean, when you hit a lot of 5s, that means your dart isn't coming out the hand quick enough. It's very similar to what we term, you know, that late release. It's just your hand's not opening. That can be often associated that you're gripping the dart too much. It's that little bit of tension.
123.
So it's almost like you just need to feather that dart. But I think that release can be smooth. I've stood behind him and thought, I mean, that was perfect.
I think he's had enough.
So
So another game to go for Carl Coleman. He's going to take on Danny Yansen, and Danny Yansen may need to win that one. In fact, would need to win that one. So there might be, well, there certainly could be one big Carl Coleman fan in the practice room at the end of the night, either Paul Hogan or Graham Usher.
60.
Yeah, I'll try and put you in the mindset of Danny Yansen. He's probably thinking, is Carl Coleman saving all his best darts for him in the last game?
30. Jason, you require 8.
Double 4 for Heaver to double his lead. It's another excellent 2-day showing for Jason Heaver. Can't find the double on this occasion, but Coleman not close to him, although he's got 3 darts and a 3-dart checkout in front of him.
Come on, Carl.
$105. Jason, you require 4. Game shot on the second leg.
It's a real old school feel about Jason Heaver. Just gets on with the job. It's no fancy finishes. Everything's quite traditional.
Well, he was here for the full week last time. He had that stunning Group C campaign when he only lost 1 match and then went on to reach the semi-finals.
100.
It was Steve Beaton that got the better of Heaver then. Beaton's full debut in the Super Series, had played the Legends League before that. Was beaten, if my memory serves me right, by David Evans in the final.
$60.
Is the duck still in the building of David Evans?
I think there's a few scattered around.
60.
David Evans. The Super Series story is that Matthew Edgar, one of our pundits here, said that David Evans was a sitting duck at the top of the table, and he took umbrage to that and then had a little pop back at Matthew, and then to defuse the situation, returned the next day with a bag full of rubber ducks.
Quackers.
140.
Should start downstairs on the 271. Needs a treble 19. He would have gone to the centre of the board.
58.
It's almost like everything he's trying right at this moment, Carl. Just not seems to be working. I'm feeling the frustration, Chris.
Yeah, and I think
100.
we're probably speaking for all the viewers now. Everyone wants him to win a match, don't they? And I think this would be the one where most people are getting on board because it's not going to
41.
harm Jason
Jason
Heaver.
Heaver, 158.
He's through, but of course he wants to do the job. He wants to win the group.
$98.
And the good news for Jason Heaver, he can get away after this one, come back and prepare for tomorrow night. He's become a major player.
132.
Yeah, and I think
Jason
that
Heaver, 160.
reaction is a little bit too late because Heaver's been exceptional on his doubles. I think he thought that was in.
40.
Well, he didn't think it was in. He thought it was underneath.
40.
And he's gone for the wrong double. He's hit it, but it's not what he needed.
James on the
That's
third
what he
there.
needed.
Coleman.
And that's what Heaver had needed as well. A comedy turn of events here at the Super Series.
Full flag, it's Jason to throw first. Game on.
I don't think I've ever seen that before, Glenn. A player missing a double on the outside and then thinking they're on the next double down.
His mind's a mush.
70.
We questioned some of his counting last night, but that takes the biscuit.
$58.
Imagine if it was for qualification. Back in the treble up.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's okay when you're already through.
180.
You can afford to laugh about it.
$100. $50.
I'm often asked at exhibitions, like, who's the best player you've ever stood behind? And there was 18 months of me practicing an awful lot with Jose
100.
de Souza, or Jose de Souza, whatever people want to call him, but he was unbelievable. But gosh, his finishing, his counting, legendary.
100.
Never in my life, Chris, have I seen a player at so many 180s. Even the best in the world were gasping at his
93.
scoring.
Jason, you've got
I'll tell you a
101.
little story about the De Souza counting in the next leg, which could be coming around very quickly. Double 16.
69.
Not quite.
Carly require 150.
Would he dare?
I think he would. No bias, Glenn. No bias. Put yourself on mute.
118. Jason, you require 32.
We need Jason Heaver to do what he did in the last leg, don't we?
Yeah,
But
he's
he's
on the fourth leg.
found the right
Jason
double
Heaver.
this time, and it's 3-1. Yeah, going back to De Souza, I was...
Fifth leg, it's Cole to throw
When,
first.
he was
Game
lesser known when he first sort of appeared on the Pro Tour. I was commentating on a match of his against Martin Schindler, and he missed a string of doubles, and I think he
60.
ended up on double 2. And he did exactly what Jason Heaver did then. Similar to what he did. He thought the dart was in, but it was the last dart. So he's collected the darts, walked off.
89.
Schindler's then missed doubles, and De Souza just started throwing at treble 20. He hadn't won the leg. He just started the next one anyway.
45. $60.
You have to be careful not to laugh too much. I've had my own trials
50.
and tribulations at the Isle of Man Open to win the title as well. Screamed with delight to find out it wasn't in.
48.
We've seen it from many players. Devon Peterson, a colleague of ours, was famously at the World Cup miscounting, screaming in delight, as you said, and then
83.
the Welsh duo of Webster and Bennett taking it away from him.
Yeah, there's a great one with Phil Taylor as well, isn't there?
What's that? Busting the same shot twice?
Wasn't it the
59.
129, 139?
Oh,
I
with
think?
Gary Anderson, yeah.
Yeah.
I think also bust 130 twice in 2 visits once, Phil Taylor.
Yeah, the greatest of all time, certainly in my eyes, but not one of the best
131.
counters.
132 for Carl Coleman when he comes back, and this is going to be the souvenir that he takes away from the Super
60.
Series. Mark my words,
132.
this is going sweet as a nut.
Well, Thomas Banks hit the 3 bulls.
82.
We can edit that out after. Well, I wonder, 50 left. Last time he had this, he made a real mess of it. Does he just go for the bullseye?
100.
Definitely
Oliver
not.
Quire,
He hits the
50.
big number first dart this time. Looks like it's 10 tops this time. Wow, wow.
Okay, double 10.
30. Jason, you require 85.
This for the win and to top the group. Now he misses the big number.
Just hit double 10, Jason.
35.
If in
Oliver
doubt,
Quire,
double
20.
10. Certainly the right route for Coleman here. Can he find his way past that and into the bed? Double 5 to stay alive.
He's
Yes,
on the fifth
in
there.
it goes.
Carl Coleman. Six flag gets Jason to throw first. Game on.
It's been a funny old game, hasn't it, for Dave Heaver?
85. $45.
Is that an affectionate nickname, Glenn, or?
It was either that or Rodney.
140.
Lots of content coming on Pluto TV.
99.
And you may understand why I'm using the term Dave. All will be revealed. Warn it on Binks.
Do stay tuned. 24/7,
41.
wall to wall, round the clock. Darts programming, including live action 6 days a week, 8 sessions a week. Finals night every Saturday at 7:30. Jason Heaver will be there
140.
tomorrow.
$140.
Once again, you can see that winning line. Carl Coleman would have done for a 177. Needs a treble.
45. Jason, you record 95.
Well, I have no idea which way he's going to go.
Well, let's help him out. He's got 76 left.
So 56 double 10.
55. $60. Jason, you require 40.
It has felt like a game of someone who's already qualified already. Jason Heaver will play a big part tomorrow. I think it's only poetic justice that he leaves it on double 10. We had that funny moment during the game. And Jason Heaver has been superb tonight. And for Carl Coleman, he has one more game to go. He'll play the final game. It could be a crucial game. And speaking of crucial game, certainly another big one coming up. But Jason Heaver always seems to be one dart ahead. They can see the funny side of it now as we look at the tail of the tape there. Very comfortable win in the end for Jason Heaver. Coleman has one more game to go, but massive game coming up next. It feels like a knockout. It's Usher versus Hogan.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. 32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls of this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
It's a moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
jockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think he's
require
gone to
118.
bust it, maybe. The first title he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust. And
39.
on that situation there, George Scaife wasn't even able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
require
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
Yansen!
done.
Got out the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series live on Pluto TV. Big game pending. Has a real knockout feel about this because the winner of this game will go through. The loser of this game will have a nervous wait. They can still qualify, but Danny Yansen plays the last game against an opponent who's yet to register a victory. He'll go into that one as a real big favourite. So I'm going to label this one as a knockout match because I really fancy Danny Yansen to do the job in the final game.
Game on.
2 great players. It's going to be sad to lose one of these two, you feel, if it does go the way we think it may do. Graham Usher at one point today, not only did I think he was going to qualify,
57.
but also top the group, and that's a fairly lazy start. Waiting to see the best from Paul Hogan tonight. Is he saving it all for this game?
Yeah, let's not forget
59.
that Paul Hogan started this evening at the top of the table. If he loses this match, he could find himself
49.
slipping down to 4th, and Danny Yansen can compound his misery with that win over Carl Coleman. So I would agree with Glenn's assessment of this one, that
140.
pretty much a knockout match. The winner definitely through. The loser almost certainly out. But we'll wait
140.
and watch and hope that Carl Coleman saves his best performance until the very last game of the group and gets a win with it.
100.
If you just see in the background there, just sucking up the air as Graham Usher is. He looks nervous.
105.
First 6 start looked very nervy. And I have to say, Hogan settled nice and quickly here. That's been the issue tonight, that section of the board, that treble 20.
100. Graham, you've got 150.
This could be a real tight game. Usher first down to a finish on 150.
And we did say, didn't we, that we felt someone would miss out on 8 points. That will be the case in this group. And when you consider that just a few weeks ago, Rob Collins got through on 4.
110. Well, you've got 102.
Still finish it.
Looked like a football manager who didn't agree with an
64.
offside decision there, didn't he?
40.
You might want VAR if
on
this
the first
goes
leg,
in. It's
Graham
1-0 Usher.
Usher makes the first move.
Second leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
We can confirm Jason Heaver has won the group. Nobody else can get to 12 points.
I'm also looking at Usher sat in second place as well. And
100.
as a reminder earlier on, already we've got Tom Sykes and Carl Wilkinson, a real Yorkshire clash in
100.
Group 1 tomorrow. And if Graham Usher does win this game, does secure second place, he would be the third place, and that is a mouth-watering Group 1.
I think if he wins it by more than
60.
a leg, he's guaranteed second place. So we will have the All Yorkshire group, if that's the scenario.
75.
Let's all come in our flat caps and whippets.
Very jealous of Yorkshire Middlesbrough people for some reason.
45.
The town Yorkshire didn't want.
140.
I'm not surprised. I've been there.
From one seaside to another, Graham Usher.
100.
Are you a fan of Scarborough?
I don't mind it. But I must say, if I was
62.
choosing my Yorkshire coast, I'd be going to Whitby.
Yeah.
But worth a trip.
60. Graham Heaver 124.
For a 2-0 lead, treble 18.
44. Paul Heaver
Despite the fact he's down to a
136.
finish, it's still fairly scrappy, those last 6 starts there from Graham Usher. He's opened the door for Hogan. We've been waiting all night for this brilliant best after that first start.
80.
He'd have fancied
Graham
a
Heaver
chance, an important
80.
passage of play here.
Yeah, this could really hurt Hogan. Tops is clear,
Game's
and
on
it
the
is in,
second
and Usher
leg.
is clear as well.
Graham
A two-leg lead. Paul Hogan with a knowing nod. Is it
Third leg, it's Graham
unravelling
to throw first. Game on.
for Crocodile Dundee? Usher getting the job done and making it snappy.
He's feeling it.
95.
You can see him externally there, just demonstrating those nerves, just getting his breathing right.
100.
Do you know, Chris, you can do all your preparation in the world. You can look at the numbers, you can look at the form guide, you can look at the way they played last night.
43.
I did not expect these performances from Paul Hogan at all.
When it rains, it pours. And when it pours, it thunders and lightnings.
24.
And yet he's still got a chance. Even if he loses this game, he can
125.
pin his hopes on Carl Coleman. But what he can't do is go and lose this 4-0, because then he's in an awful
40.
position. He'll have a worse leg difference. He'll already be fourth before that game takes place. And
85.
Danny Yansen may be able to go through without even winning.
What a night. And what a night tomorrow will be.
99.
Yeah,
Graham Heaver,
good number of tickets sold. A limited amount remaining. Get them from dartshop.tv.
65.
As we mentioned yesterday, last time Jason Heaver was here, there was a big contingent. And there was already a lot of tickets sold before he qualified tonight.
60.
We might have another
Graham Heaver,
full house like we
188.
did last week.
Maybe it's you, Glenn. They've come to see you. But they'll see darts like
Games
this.
on the third leg. Graham Usher.
Graham Usher.
Fourth
Good
leg,
shot,
it's Paul
Graham,
to throw
says Paul
first.
Hogan. He
Game.
appreciated that. But he knows that his hopes are disappearing fast.
$76. 60.
Does Paul Hogan look like a man who's resigned to his fate to you?
As I said at the beginning of a dart, whenever you stand and play Paul Hogan, you know exactly how he's feeling because he shows you it. Just
60.
almost took him an age. I mean, everything he's demonstrating there is someone who ain't very happy. And of course, it's just not been his night. He's 3-0 down. What more do you want me to do? He's probably going to reply to me. But you can give so much information to your opponent by doing that.
85.
And a reminder, of course, that even if he loses a game, which it looks like he will do, Carl Coleman can get him out of trouble if he can get his first win of the group against Danny Yansen.
177.
Well, that's what more he can do. And anything he can do more.
We require 88.
Again, a nice touch between the pair of them. Want this to get up and running. It's tops.
48.
And is that the
Right,
last
we've got
3 darts
116.
of the campaign of Paul Hogan in this Group B? It could be, because it's match start for qualification.
76. We require 40.
Just over the top. Hogan wants the same target. Double 10. Played a big part in the previous match. But it's a huge mess.
35. Last start doesn't count
huge
under
miss.
our throw. Graham, you require 40.
Well, it's been far from straightforward for Graham Usher. But double 5.
35.
Interesting here. The referee, Owen Binks, disqualified the last dart there. Said it was an illegal throw. So he's got 5 left. He didn't bust the score. I don't think Paul Hogan's in agreement.
His mind was a mush.
5.
Not one for 1 second was I confident there.
No
Well,
score.
what is going
We
on?
require 2.
Double 1.
No score. Graham, you require 5.
Can Usher finally bring an end to this? The gambler
3.
still
Paul, you require
still yet to
2.
secure the win.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
Well, if he does qualify,
Paul Hogan.
maybe that's the best shuffle of the week.
5th leg, it's Graham to
Carl
throw
Wilkinson
first.
had a
Game.
go. Tommy Modus had a go. But the dance-off goes to Paul Hogan.
A little bit of frustration on the face of Graham Usher now. He wanted to get the job done.
60.
Now Hogan's back in it. Remember, if Hogan were to turn this around, it would be then Usher who's standing on the trapdoor and hoping that Carl Coleman beats Danny Yansen.
80. $65.
How a match can change so quickly. I'm not liking this from Graham Usher one little bit.
100.
And as a player, when you're out, Paul Hogan was ready to walk off that stage. He's probably the most relaxed player in the building right now.
Thoughts on that little moment in the previous leg with the disqualified dart, Glenn?
Look, he's one of the best
100.
referees in the world, and if Owen Binks said that was an illegal throw, then I'm with Owen Binks.
Overarm and deliberate. I don't think it was thrown with an overarm action
180.
from Paul Hogan. That's why it was disqualified. That's why you should take care with every dart you throw, as Graham Usher did there, to leave himself in with another match-winning
60.
opportunity.
Graham, you've got 136.
He has the option of going down to the 19s, a treble. Would lead
42.
tops.
Oh, you've got
Once again,
161.
scrappy and messy, and open the door for Hogan.
26. Graham, you've got 94.
Looking at the Hogan score, he's thinking about double-double, I think, here. But he gets a treble instead.
78. Paul, you've got 135.
Almost there. Almost.
Yes, the match darts are racking up. Treble 20. And I tell you what, that is a good marker for the bullseye. If this treble 20 can go, it does go. Smile on his face. Bullseye looking at him.
110.
And that wasn't
Graham,
far
you've got
away.
60.
And how many times have we said chance for Usher?
Would have been a heart-stopping moment for Graham Usher, but he can finally say he's through to finals night. The gambler left it late, but he won the all-important match. And Graham Usher has qualified for the Saturday showpiece at the Super Series. The inquest goes on about that refereeing call earlier on. Paul Hogan trying to explain what he felt he did. Owen Biggs explaining why the dart was disqualified. The bigger picture is that Graham Usher is through. Paul Hogan has fallen to 4th place and only 3 go through. So Danny Yansen takes on Carl Coleman after the break. If Yansen wins that match, he's through, but Coleman can save Hogan. Stay tuned to find out which way it goes. Welcome back. The final fixture of this thrilling Group B is about to take place. Jason Heaver is through as the group winner. Graham Usher is through in second place. Danny Yansen will be through if he wins this match. If he loses it, though, well, Paul Hogan could still sneak through. So can Carl Coleman get his only win of the group right at the death and save Paul Hogan's skin, or will the mullet rise to the occasion at the end and
First leg,
secure
it's
his
Danny to
spot?
throw first. Game on.
In fact, even a 4-3 defeat would be enough for Danny Yansen to go through because of the margin of victory for Usher in that previous match. Paul Hogan has
60.
disappointed tonight and will leave disappointed tonight. And Danny Yansen, well, he said at the start of the evening, Glenn, I need to win 3 matches. And if he wins this, he will have achieved that objective and he will have been proven right.
Well, let me tell you, there'll be just something niggling in the back of his mind. As much as he'll go into this one as the big favourite.
120.
A comfortable win over Carl yesterday. He'll be thinking, is Carl saving his best? Carl is desperate to get the 2 points. So just keep an eye on sort of the expressions of Danny Yansen. The fact he only needs 3 legs, I'm pretty certain he won't know that. So who knows if there's going to be one last twist.
100.
He has been backstage with his pen and paper working out the permutations. Not always a certainty that dart players get them right, because Jamie Kelling had miscalculated by 1 leg this afternoon. Fortunately, no harm was done.
96.
Yeah, I like that last start from Carl. The execution, not so good. 75 points left. It's bullseye. This would be an incredible start.
100.
What a shot that would have been. What a finish it could have been. But Coleman can play the spoiler. Spoiled the shot himself there, missed a big number. There's been a couple of occasions where he's done that this evening. Double 12.
1.
It'll be a nervous Danny Yansen to get through this game. Coleman missed the big number, but tops is his go-to double.
30. Danny required 24.
I wonder if Paul Hogan is still in the practice room. He won't like what he saw with a missed opportunity there from Coleman. That will settle Yansen down.
Yeah, if he gets to 3 legs, he's through Danny Yansen. Even if he loses the match 4-3, he'd have the same leg difference as Paul Hogan, the same points, but would be through on legs 1. Of course, if he wins the match, he'll have 10 points, the same as Graham Usher, who is guaranteed in second place. So we do get that all Yorkshire group tomorrow with Sykes, Usher and Wilkinson.
I think that's incredible. That's a shame that one of them is going to be leaving at the round robin stage, but it's an excellent narrative for the night. Let's get the Yorkshire board out. Have you ever heard of one of them?
Yeah, absolutely. No trebles, although, to be honest, when I played darts, you'd think there was no trebles anyway.
100.
They're too tight to have trebles on there, Yorkshireman.
Steady on.
Come on, Carlos.
Go on, let's all cheer it in. Yes!
180.
No bias, but boom, boom, shake the room. God, I've turned into Henry Deacon there. What am I doing?
91.
Shabba.
$45.
Do you know, all my in-depth preparation, yet I'm known for Shabba. Incredible.
$44. Danny, you require 180.
I'll keep it professional. 118 left for Danny Yansen. Tops for the Dutchman.
Game shot.
Brilliant
the second
checkout.
leg. Danny Yansen.
to double his advantage, and he's homing
Third
in
it's Danny to throw first.
on that finals
Game.
night spot that he's been coveting all week. He said long week, didn't he, when we chatted to him earlier? But he will feel it's been worth the work and worth the wait.
Yes, a large contingent will be
89.
playing tomorrow night from that Group A campaign. It was star-studded. I know we keep saying it, don't we, Chris?
60.
But it is potentially a blockbuster night tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's, honestly, if you haven't got a ticket yet, there is still time. If you're in and around the Portsmouth area, tickets are still available. Scan the QR code. Go
100.
to dartshop.tv. Spend a £5. When you could be here.
100.
If not, it might be a little bit far to travel if you're at the opposite end of this country or in another country. Just watch us live on Pluto TV from 7:30 and see
180.
maximums aplenty, champion checkouts, and who will win.
125. Carly Rock 161.
Missed opportunity there for you, Chris. You could have made a name for yourself.
I'm not saying shabba, Glenn.
49. Danny Rock 127.
This has not been too shabby.
99. Carly Rock 112.
Like it. Danny Yansen likes it. Couple of 180s in this match so far for Carl.
56.
Still searching for the first leg, and Danny Yansen looked apprehensive, looked nervous as he came to the hockey. But this for qualification. 7-7.
14. Carly Rock 156.
Hogan hangs on. Hogan hopes on. If Coleman clings on.
Game shown the third
Which he
leg.
does.
Cole.
Jansen not through yet. Hogan not out yet.
Fourth leg, it's Cole to throw first.
All thanks to Carl Coleman.
Game on.
And a breaker throw as well for Carl. I felt he played his best game, his final game yesterday. He is playing without pressure. That's 3 180s. He is beginning to demonstrate what he's all about. There is a dart player there, I can assure you. I was going to say, if he'd done a 9 dart, I'm going to run on the stage.
85.
It's the only way you're getting back on it.
$100.
Listen to the production team all creeping around you, laughing their heads off. You know what I said earlier, guys?
30. $96.
I'll tell you what, we might be in the midst of a joke at the moment, but it's no joke for Danny Yansen.
174.
That's now 174 to go with 3 180s, and Coleman is in position to level.
45. Colin required 32.
For a 13 darter. Just eases across the hockey.
Game shown the 4.
2-2.
Cole Coleman.
Ah, you're watching Paul Hogan. Just a reminder, Danny Yansen needs one more leg.
Game.
From the first dart to the last dart in this Group B, it has been tied. Jason Heaver confirmed his qualification fairly early tonight. The Scarborough man, Graham Usher, was delighted to get that second place. And there was a bit of an assumption that was going to be pretty straightforward for Danny Yansen against the player who's still searching for his first victory this week. But he has the darts here. Can he serve it out?
54.
Just get the feeling that one player's playing with a lot of pressure, the other one's playing with freedom.
100.
And that's a really important statement for someone like Carl Coleman. How do you then play with your freedom when everyone's on 0 points again?
145.
Good use of the middle of the board for Danny Yansen. That's a real weapon in his arsenal.
83. Danny
He does use the bull and 25 very, very pragmatically.
127.
The questions were asked of Danny Yansen. He'll want to win this match. He'll want to go into tomorrow night
55. Danny
with a win under his belt, but 40 points away from qualification. And the sixth qualifier of what will be an unbelievable night of darts tomorrow night. Danny Yansen is through.
Sixth flag against Carl to throw first. Game on.
It's Tom Sykes, Jamie Kelling, Carl Wilkinson, Jason Heaver, Graham Usher, and Danny Yansen, the Super Six.
60.
The Saturday showpiece tomorrow.
Well, he's been doing his own number crunching, but I'm still not 100% certain he's realised he's qualified right now.
Well, he had it all planned out from the start of the night. He said he felt he needed to win 3 matches or win 2 and hope, and he was absolutely right. This would be that third victory that would secure his Saturday spot. You have to feel a little bit for Paul Hogan. He did unravel this evening, but it is quite rare that a player misses out on 8 points.
41.
And the fact he was top of the table overnight as well. Shocks all round for Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, there may be crocodile tears in the car on the way home. But he'll come again. Back-to-back Champions Weeks last year, Paul Hogan.
140.
Great to see Carl just finishing with his best performance of the week.
180.
That is the type of darts for Danny Yansen that he will definitely need tomorrow night.
$95. Danny requires 35.
Well, he's through.
3.
But he's not yet won, and there is still a chance that Carl Coleman can win. It would be his only win.
Options on the 105. 86 points left, so treble 18. Just not to be for Carl.
65.
Does leave
Danny requires
tops.
32.
Danny Yansen, he looked apprehensive, he looked nervous at the beginning of this game. But it's a very professional and solid performance. And by the reaction of Danny Yansen there, he's realised what he's done, and he does become the final player in what is going to be. That's a wonderful celebration for the very likeable Dutchman. But please, if I can have the opportunity to say, Carl Coleman, he'll be back. It hasn't been his couple of days. He's determined to demonstrate what he can. And at times in the 3-180s, he did that. But Danny Yansen is through. And we will be hearing from Danny after the short break.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yeah. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
Time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Well, in the end, it went right down to the final match, but Group B has been completed. And Danny Yansen is the final player to book his place at finals night on Saturday. He did that after Graham Usher did the same by beating Paul Hogan 4-1. Yansen beating Carl Coleman 4-2 means that Hogan doesn't make it. Jason Heaver had won the group already by that point. 12 points for Heaver, who returns to finals night. Usher and Yansen finish on 10. And Paul Hogan, despite getting 8 points, misses out in 4th place. Carl Coleman didn't manage to get a win, did play quite well in that last match against Danny Yansen, who has joined us in the studio for a chat. Danny, congratulations. Look, we chatted at the start of the night. You said you felt you needed to win 3 matches, and that's exactly what you did, and that's how it turned out.
This was tough, I'll be honest. It is a really tough group. It was close all the way around, but I knew I had to win at least 3. I wanted to win 4, and I was close to win 4, but I was like, just win Heaver, Usher, and Hogan, and I tried. And I only didn't beat Usher, but I was just the last match. I was just like, keep going, just stop now, don't stop, don't stop.
Was it almost tonight, Glenn, about who made the mistakes, and in the end that was Paul Hogan?
Yeah, and the one person I probably thought wouldn't make the mistakes was the experience of Paul Hogan, because I thought last night he was terrific. I thought he just looked assured. He looked, even when he was losing legs, he was looking calm about the situation, but the head shaking, the arms were going. We knew we were going to lose a very good player tonight. Happened to be Paul Hogan.
Were there any matches tonight where you really felt you had to win those games?
Against Jason and Paul, that was the 2 matches for me that I had to win. And of course against Usher and Coleman too, but I had the feeling if I beat 2 out of the 3, I'm doing a good job, and I did. And this one I almost busted myself. The nerves got me a little bit. It has been long nights. It is really hot on the stage, so I was just happy I didn't bust myself. I got it through, and you can see it on my reaction. I did my best, and I'm happy to get through. That's all I am.
Yeah, not just a long night, but a long week. We spoke about it. It seems ages ago since that 9-dart finish on Monday. But when you reflect on the week as a whole, it must give you a lot of confidence ahead of tomorrow.
Well, yeah, 100%. I don't think I played bad at all this whole week. I think I had a lot of good matches. I had the 9-darter, of course, a lot of 180s, and a lot of good on my doubles. I think this is one of my best weeks I ever played over here. So I'm really excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow is all a new night, some crowd in here. So it just depends who does it all tomorrow. It doesn't matter what everybody did this whole week.
What are your ambitions in darts in general at the moment? Because myself and Glenn in commentary have been talking about that Pro Tour victory on the PDC, which was a significant kind of breakthrough for you. Glenn's kind of said sometimes taking a step back will help you take 2 or 3 forward. Where do you see your future in the next few years?
So when I lost my tour card, my kiddo got born. He's almost 2 now, and it was the best thing ever, of course. And now he's getting a little bit older, so we're getting a little bit more rest too, my wife and me. And I'm just really now making myself ready already for January, because I want my tour car back, because I still think I can show more than I've been showing so far. So I just want to give it another shot and keep going. And everything around it now is calm, easy, steady, happy. I'm a really happy man, and I think I've showed that this week too, and that's all I have.
So rather than go to January, looking at 2025, is the Modus Super Series top of the priorities list at the moment?
Yes, of course. Tomorrow I will give it my all, and of course I want to win one for sure. I will give it everything I have in me tomorrow, and then we will go farther. But this sort of steps makes me ready too for everything I want to be ready for.
And just quickly, Glenn, before we talk about the other players, there are loads of examples, aren't there, of players who've done well here, even if they've fallen off the tour and then they've gone back. I'm just thinking, just last week, Bradley Brooks.
Bradley Brooks is exactly where I was going to go there. He's posted incredible numbers and interestingly thanked the Modus Super Series. And sometimes you have to take that sabbatical that year. I mean, there's so many opportunities for Danny on the amateur circuit right now. And, you know, the ADC, certainly in the UK, we've seen the success in Europe also. Danny's got the firepower. He's a big scorer. He's got the attributes as well that you need to be professional. He's still a young man. So I'm really excited for the future. And maybe the Modus Super Series can be that catalyst for him. A big win here for Danny could kickstart him for his primary focus of January.
In fact, all three players that have gone through from this group have come off the tour and come back to the Modus Super Series. Let's just talk about the other two for a moment. Jason Heaver, how impressive have you been with him the last couple of nights?
Tonight he was excellent. I mean, I questioned the fact that he was favourite at 2-1 to win the group tonight because I didn't really see it yesterday. He was quite quirky. He was excellent on his doubles. But tonight he was big scoring. I quite liked his personality. We had a little bit of fun with some of the finishes. Well, he was the best player of the night tonight. And he may even bring a big crowd here. He's been here on a finals night before, and that crowd, as we've seen with Jimmy Van Schie last week, can often be your fourth dart. He's now become a major player.
You mentioned some of the interesting ways of finishing. There was one comical moment. I don't know if you guys saw this in the practice room, Danny, but this was remarkable.
I saw this one, yeah.
He's missed outside tops there. You could maybe forgive him to think that it was in, but he's gone for double 10.
I know what he was thinking probably. I need my classes. That's what he keeps saying in the backstage. So,
but great to see the smile as well because he has that demeanour on that hockey as well, and you can see the funny side of it afterwards.
Yeah, fair play to him. Look. He won the group. Let's talk about Graham Usher as well, because he was something of an enigma in this group in particular. You said you expected him to get through, but he left it right till the end.
Yeah, he didn't make it easy. He's so quick at times. You just want him to maybe add just a little bit of composure to his game. This was an important phase as well against Danny. Danny was taking total control of this game at that point and was looking good for a 3-1. That's the kind of dart. And what I would say about Graham Usher, he's explosive. And on a Saturday night, it feels more like a knockout game. The crowd make a difference in here. I still think Graham Usher is a real top player. But I can say, give credit to every 6 players that is there tomorrow. It's going to be a wonderful night.
Danny, you've had some great games with Graham this week, haven't you?
Yeah, Graham was really tough. We had great games, but it seems like he hits everything against me this week. So hopefully tomorrow we can change it around, and if I have to play him, of course. But yeah, Graham is really a really good player, and he is such a nice guy too. And me and Graham had a good laugh this whole week, and it's a respectful guy, and I'm really happy we got through, of course. And tomorrow the best man wins, and we just make a great night of it.
Yeah, we'll get on to tomorrow in just a second, but first let's just give you confirmation of the players that have made it. So Tom Sykes winning Group A earlier in the week. Danny himself was very much in contention to win and have a couple of days off. Instead, he comes through Group B with Graham Usher in second place, Jason Heaver winning the group, and then this afternoon we saw Jamie Kelling and Carl Wilkinson come through from Group C. In terms of tomorrow night's groups, this is who plays who, and it's Danny's first look at this. It'll be Jason Heaver again and Jamie Kelling in Group 2. Group 1, the all Yorkshire group, all of them from the same county, Glenn. Tom Sykes, Graham Usher and Carl Wilkinson.
I think the best Group 1 I've ever seen on a finals night. I might be saying that because it's from my neck of the woods there. I don't think the three of them would like that group if truth be told. It's going to, it's going to be the headline, it's going to be the narrative of that real Yorkshire clash there. I mean, Carl Wilkinson is the Yorkshire captain as well, the up-and-coming Tom Sykes. and a sensational player in Usher. That's going to be a beauty.
For you, any thoughts on your group?
I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be myself, do my best, and this is going to be tough, but this whole week has been tough, so why not make it tough again? Just do our best and see what happens.
Yeah, your first match will be the second game of the night against Jason Heaver, so you've had that familiarity of playing him. Have you got people over with you as well supporting you this week?
Yes, I got my dad over, and my dad good buddy, and my really good buddy too, Bet, and they both have a mullet, so there will be the 3 mullets in here tomorrow, and we're going to do our best.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to, get a little mullet wig or something and come and support Danny, make him feel at home here at the
More than welcome.
Series. How big would it be for you to win tomorrow night?
It will be huge, of course. Like what Clan said too, maybe that's the little step I will need just to keep going, and yeah, I will just be really happy. But right now, I'm already happy I'm there. That's all I have to say about that.
Right, cover your ears for 1 second. Prediction for tomorrow. Who's the one to beat?
It's going to be great, first of all. I'm never one for sitting on the fence whatsoever. I did say Graham Usher on day one. I'm never one to change it there. I'm just going to be a fan tomorrow. I'm just going to really enjoy it. We've had some wonderful interviews in here. Carl Wilkinson spoke so well, and Danny's speaking beautifully tonight. Jamie Kellen, whoever wins it will deserve it.
Yeah, it should be brilliant, just like last week was. Plenty coming up here on the Modus Super Series channel on Pluto TV. Derek Coulson is going to be here next week, and after tonight's show you can hear from him in an exclusive Tungsten Talk talking about his life and career. Then on the hockey with Damon Hetta, that's Saturday morning 11:40. Jimmy Van Ski is a feature of the Tungsten Talk as we prepare for the live finals night tomorrow. That's at 5:40. Finals night gets underway, of course, at 7:30 tomorrow, and then week 9 featuring the former champion Andreas Harrison. That gets underway from 9:30 on Monday morning. But we want to see you again for finals night. Danny Yansen will be there. We hope you will be too. We'll see you then. Good night.
What a finish! What a man!
The drum roll finishes, and the target is hit.
And that was it. And it comes on finals night, and it's another
Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls of this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
hockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
required
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Gave wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie,
Threw
you
the entire
require
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go!
Couldn't get the job
Yes!
done.
Got out the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate!